Hello, everybody. I hope this is working correctly. I think I unmuted everything. Welcome to episode 2 of the Two Geeks podcast. Now, quickly before we begin, a few quick announcements because we actually had feedback from episode 1, which is great, which means people actually watched and paid attention. First one is we tend to jump from topic to topic really, really quickly, which we both admitted immediately afterwards. So we're adopting a new 2-part segment of our podcast. For the first half an hour or so, we're thinking of doing a quick catch-up, seeing how we've been, what we've been up to the last 2 weeks, then touching on the topics of what news has come out or what interesting stuff within the geek world has come to light in the last 2 weeks, and then we can discuss that. Hopefully, it doesn't take us that long. However, we are who we are, and we like to ramble, so we don't know. But then after that, every week we're going on to the main chunk of our podcast, which will be a specialized subject every different podcast. Today being a tier list ranking of every MCU movie between the two of us. So I'm very much looking forward to that. But before that, our first segment, which the only idea that comes to me is calling it What's New Scooby-Doo, because it's just stuck in my head, but I'm not calling that, but it's just catchy. Stephen.
Yeah, I like it.
How have you been, sir?
I'm not bad, man. I'm not bad. You seem to have had a shocker of a week.
I've had, life's been a bit hectic. I was in a car accident on my way to work last Friday. But I'm okay. I'm totally fine. See, I don't know if you can see me. I'm moving. I'm all good. I've recovered. But my car is totaled, and now I'm in the hunt for a new set of wheels that will hopefully be fixed and sorted soon because it's driving me up the bloody wall. So I get to...
Was it...
Sorry.
No, sorry. Like, was it just a complete accident, or was there something in the road? Like, what?
Oh, no, it was an accident. I was driving to work, and I was on the motorway, and... what was I going to say? The rain... Actually, quick one. Can you just say something for me?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I can say... Okay.
Cool. I hadn't actually looked at the bars to make sure that your voice was being picked up. But I was like, it just occurred to me. But you are, so cool. Driving to work on the motorway. It was rainy and wet weather conditions. Cars in front of me suddenly started braking aggressively, and then they put the hazards on to, say, oh, quick, we're slowing down. So I hit my brakes, and then I put my hazards on, go, oh, we're slowing down. And then I looked at my rearview mirror, and I went, shit. And then this one just went into the back of me.
Yeah, because obviously the picture you had shared looked like crazy. Like, I don't drive, so I don't know much about cars, but when I saw that, I was like, that's crazy. How you walk away from that.
That crumpled surprisingly well, to be honest. It just in like the 2 seconds, it probably was like half a second, but it felt like 5 seconds of which me seeing this van in my rearview mirror and me going, oh, for fuck's sake. I managed to turn my steering wheel a little bit, so when it hit me, I didn't immediately go into the car in front of me. Instead, I shot out to the left, where luckily there were no cars, and then just ended it in the hard shoulder. And then, I was like, I'm not bleeding. Yeah, no blood anyway. I didn't hit my head on anything. Got out of the car, and I'm like, for fuck's sake. And then I spent like 3 hours.
Like a real Doctor Who, like...
Yeah, it's like...
Oh my God, my legs, my hands.
Everything's still attached. Nothing really hurts. But then at the same time, like... the second impact hits, your body just fills with adrenaline. So you're like, right, I could be dying right now, but I wouldn't feel it because the adrenaline's just like... But no, it's all good. It was annoying. I got the weekend off work, so, silver lining, I suppose. But yeah, that's it. I was going to say that's the highlight of my 2 weeks. It's not. It's just been the focal point of my last 2 weeks.
Yeah, like I have nothing as interesting has happened to me. The most I could say is I watched The Marvels in preparation for this.
Hey, I was wondering what we're going to do if we got to a movie like The Marvels, which you haven't watched, but you're now up to date. Hold your thoughts. We will discuss when we get to it in about an hour's time, because it's like the last movie on the list.
Indeed. But apart from that, no, it's just been me building up to buying all the games that I was in to buy because I got paid today. So,
so you now have no money.
Money has been spent. And I hope my mum hasn't joined the chat, because if she hears what I bought, and not just games, I'm talking. So I bought the new Final Fantasy and started playing it at midnight, and I'm talking 20 minutes in, I have already bought a Buster Blade from eBay.
Well, like a prop.
Yeah, just like a foam version.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was like, I can't. Yeah, we're buying it. Don't know where I'm gonna put it, but I've got a little pile of my lightsabers and swords and stuff outside my room, so that's gonna have to go there.
I have a corner right here that has the Master Sword from Zelda, Kirito's blade from Sword Art Online. I have a sparring katana. Is that what it's called, a katana? That's
I know, yeah.
Yeah, my brain just had a fart then. But no, I've got like it's a black sparring one, so it's like hard plastic that's meant for full contact sparring. I got that for like 20 quid. See, I just have a pile of swords. I've got Thor's hammer buried under some clothes there. I've got some shields. You don't need space. You just find somewhere to put it. Collect weapons.
That's it. I mean, I need to do something with them at some point. But hey, I bought that now, so I might as well buy the cosplay at some point for Cloud.
You totally should. I would love to see that. But any ladies listening, men want weapons. We want swords. We want bows and arrows.
Men listening, women want weapons.
Probably also true. Women want weapons too. Everyone wants weapons. Weapons are awesome. Right. So, bit of hydration. I have a list of things that I think have been, come out in the last 2 weeks that can warrant discussion. I don't know if you do.
Yep.
Or have you been super... Okay, where to start? How controversial do I want to go? How negative do I want to start? Because I have opinions, and most of these aren't positive opinions. There is one. Okay. There is one that is a positive opinion.
Right.
Shall I start with that one? We'll start on
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, go for that.
So I read, it was shortly after the Fantastic Four cast was announced, I read that Henry Cavill was not offered Doctor Doom. However, he was offered a different MCU role, which has not been specified, and he has accepted, is why I've read.
Okay.
I am chuffed.
I did hear that.
Yeah, I am very happy with this. I literally could not give a shit who he is playing. I love Henry Cavill, and I will admit that wholeheartedly. I'm a straight man, but oh my god, Henry Cavill, if he wanted to do anything together, I'd be like, yes, sir, I am there. My girlfriend is aware of this, and she accepts it. Henry Cavill is a beautiful and amazing man, and he's a giant geek. One day, if we could get Henry Cavill on this podcast, we have peaked, and it will be the last episode, and I'll never do it again. I will retire happy.
I did hear that. I don't know. I know a lot of people think he's going to be playing Captain Britain.
I saw that, yeah.
My only concern is because I'm not big into Warhammer, but I was so excited when he was in charge of the Warhammer stuff that's coming out, or at least partly in charge.
Yeah.
So I worry when he's going to be doing this universe as well.
Right.
How much time is being spent where? Like, is this going to be like? When I hear this, it makes me think he's only going to be in one film.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, I don't feel like it ends up well for the people that are in it.
Yeah, now you mention it, I forgot he's doing this whole Warhammer thing, so it's not like he's going to be able to juggle both at the same time, so it might just be...
But at the same time, I don't think he's going to be in every Warhammer project. He might just be a producer on some of them. He might be in, like, a main one.
True, yeah. He'll be in, like, the first one, and then he'll probably just be, like, cameo dude.
He might be in different things after that, but... It just depends, because I don't know anything about Warhammer either. Like, the lore is so large. Like, I sometimes will put on, like, Warhammer lore videos to fall asleep to, because they're relaxing, but at the same time, they're so long.
Yeah, I know nothing about Warhammer. It's like when you tell people about D&D, and you're on about, like, minis, and you put them up, and they're like, oh, like Warhammer, I'm like... I know. From what I've seen of Warhammer is so much more and so much more confusing. Yeah. I don't get it. I know our friend Henry is somewhat into Warhammer, I heard.
Yeah.
So if we ever get him on, we'll have to ask him how the hell you play Warhammer.
Yeah, just explain it to us.
Yeah, because
I'll take up the entire episode. I've lived with flatmates who couldn't explain the plot to me. So
2 Geeks Podcast, episode 5. What is Warhammer?
I think it'll be 3 episodes long just to explain the basics of Warhammer.
It'll be like Film Theory's Five Nights at Freddy's videos. Yes. They'll each be like 40 minutes long, and there'll be 5 of them. Yeah. But no, as far as I'm concerned, Warhammer is just the collection of minis and painting them, because that seems to be the only bit anyone ever talks about.
Yeah.
But no, so at the end of the day, Henry Cavill joining the MCU, I'm on board with. I really don't care if it's one movie or numerous movies. I'm not too fussed. I'm always happy to see Henry Cavill. That being said, I haven't seen his last few movies because apparently they suck. Anyway, moving on to slightly more of my negative opinions. Did you watch the Borderlands trailer?
I did.
Are you a fan of Borderlands?
Slightly. So I never finished the first one, but I did finish the second one. And I love them both. I just never finished them. I think it's because I was playing with friends online. So when like they weren't playing, I wasn't playing, kind of thing.
That makes sense.
I never got round to 3, although I hear it was really good.
Fair. I couldn't get into it myself. It's like the idea of the story and the characters seem like fun, but I'm not a first-person shooter guy.
Yeah.
No matter how they coat it, I think the only one that I've been able to play and enjoy and play the most is Halo.
Okay.
Specifically Reach. I completed the campaign on Reach by myself, and I really enjoyed it. But
Reach is class.
Reach is amazing. But I'm just not into first-person shooters. But the idea, I love the design, the aesthetic of Borderlands. It's very unique, and it looks awesome. But it's just, I'm not a fan of the combat. I tried Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Because it's like Borderlands meets D&D.
Yes.
Played it for about an hour. And I was like, it's just Borderlands.
That's it. I got a friend of mine that loves that. Well, I say loves. He's been enjoying playing that. He was playing that for a while there.
Do I still have it?
The one I played, I tried to play the Telltale Borderlands game. Apparently that's very good, but I never got around to finding it.
I think I'm on episode 3 of that. For some reason, thing with Telltale's games is that I either get so invested in it that I finish the whole thing in like one sitting, or I go through like 2 or 3 days of being obsessed with it, but I only play like a little bit a day, like I play an episode a day. But then I'll get to like episode 3 and then I'll just stop for some reason. And then every now and then I'll try to go back to it. Like every now and then I'm looking on my Xbox and I'm like, oh, what should I play? I'm like, oh, Tales of the Borderland. Yeah, that's actually really fun. I was enjoying that. Yeah. And then I play it and it's halfway through like episode 4. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, and I don't want to restart it. But I do love it because the lead guy, I'm pretty sure, is voiced by Troy Baker. The lead girl is Laura Bailey, and it's like they're just voice actors that I love, and so it's really good. And I love Telltale's games, but.
Oh, I love the Telltale games. That'll be another episode where we'll talk about all of them.
We should definitely do that because I could go. Oh, Telltale's Batman is
I love Telltale's Batman.
It's so good.
I'll tell you right now, my favorite one of all time, and if you haven't played it, get it played, is Back to the Future.
Really, I had it.
That to me is what I consider like the best.
Really, see, I have this weird thing, and we could easily talk about this for a long time as well. Is that Back to the Future holds such a special place in my heart. It is my favorite movie of all time. If anyone asks me what is the best movie ever made, it's Back to the Future, hands down. I don't care what the category is or what the determining factors are. Back to the Future is the best movie ever.
Interesting.
And so when there's different like variations of it, I find it difficult to accept. It's like a lot of people keep saying Back to the Future the musical is really good and you should check it out, and I'm like, no, I will not taint what Back to the Future is to me with a musical. How dare you? But apparently it's really good.
I really wanted to watch it, but it's not been near me yet.
True. The annoying thing is I'm near London now, so I could go see it.
You could just bite the bullet.
It's like, oh, I'm off for the weekend. Let's go watch Back to the Future the musical. No, I can't.
We'll make a day of it. I'll come around. We'll review it.
Yeah, let's do that. And we're gonna have an episode review of Back to the Future the musical. But and it's the same with Telltales because I had it. Someone bought it for me for the PS4. I think it's also on Game Pass now because I did get rid of it because I just didn't play it. And I think I started it, and then something about it, I was like, oh, this isn't Back to the Future. It's Back to the Future, but different. Like, and so I was just like, that was it, because it kind of starts the same way as episode 1, but then I mean the first movie like starts and you like it's the whole testing thing, and you can pick the dialogue, and me being me, I of course pick the dialogue from the movie because I know the dialogue from the movie. But then then Marty starts acting like, oh no, we've done this before, and I'm like, I could get really excited or I could just freak out, and I think I freaked out, and so I need to give it another go. Especially before, if we ever pre-arrange a Telltales podcast, you need to let me know at least like at the end of the podcast before, so I have 2 weeks to just blitz it, and then I will make sure I do. But no, going back to the actual topic I was wanting to discuss when I asked, have you watched the Borderlands trailer?
Oh yes, that's right.
What are your thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. The cast was unexpected. I didn't know how they were going to do it because obviously in the game, you kind of, I can't remember now if you make your own character. Oh no, you get a choice of their characters.
Yeah, you pick one of them.
And none of the characters that you play that I could see are the characters that are in that movie. They're like other characters that you interact with, which is also good. But
now you mention it, yeah, that's true.
Maybe when I looked at it, I was like, I'm not a huge Borderlands person, so when I saw it, I was like, I recognize these people enough, but I don't know enough about them. Because I know that they're not the people you play as.
That makes sense. My only gripe is what a lot of the internet share, which is I don't understand the casting.
Yeah.
It's like, why is Cate Blanchett playing a woman who you would assume is in their mid to late 20s/early 30s?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm on the opposite end of that where I'm just like, yeah, Kate Blanchett, give her a go.
I-
That's what I'm like.
I was-
Because I have no deep personal interest in Borderlands. Like, the trailer looked good enough, but it wasn't enough to even make me go, can't wait to see that day one.
Oh yeah, I mean
That's a day 2 or day 3 kind of viewing for me.
that's a when I remember.
Yeah.
But no, I was talking to my boss about this, and I was like, "Why is Kate Blanchett?" And he just went, "Kate Blanchett could play Batman, and I wouldn't care." I was like, "Oh, okay." But I'm not of that opinion. She's a wonderful actress, but I believe some people aren't just their fame. You can't just play any role because you're that good. It's just, it doesn't make sense to me. It's like I don't even know why I care, because I shouldn't. I'm not a big fan of the games. It's really confusing because every time I have seen these characters, you have this idea of what they look like, and it's like, okay, this one's not played by Kate Blanchett, and you're like, why? I heard someone.
Oh, I know. Because I don't know if, because obviously Tiny Tina in the movie looks like Tiny Tina.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, I didn't know. I think when I first saw the trailer, I was like, is this set in the game universe in the future? Like, are these the same characters, but
Older,
has
but
the
then
games technically happened, or what? Or
yeah, it's very confusing. Yeah, because apparently another old woman whose name I can't remember, which I really should. Shame on me. I think it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah.
Is also playing a character that is meant to be a lot younger.
Ah, okay, I didn't know that either.
But me neither. But I know the girl playing Tiny Tina. I saw something about who she played someone else in something that we've probably both seen. And
All right.
I can't.
I didn't recognize her,
I
but
can't-
I'm not good with faces.
Oh no, I mean I saw a meme. I can't remember what it was.
Oh, is she not? Is she not? No, it's not her. I was about to say, is she not Weapon X? But that's a different person.
Oh no, she's a lot older than that too. If I do this, am I going to ruin something on the podcast? No, I'm not. Okay, cool. Sorry, it needs to be done. I'm doing what I did last time. Getting up IMDb. I am the researcher. If this goes really well, if we get like a budget, we're going to get like editors and people to do the research for us. It's going to be wonderful. See, I was reading somewhere that someone said Kate Blanchett would have been better as Moxie, which makes sense.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I recognize that.
Ariana Greenblatt. She played... Oh, she was in Barbie.
Oh, that's right.
And she was young
Barbie as well.
She was also young Ahsoka.
Oh, and she's young Ahsoka as well. Oh, two of the things I loved.
We're not going into a Barbie debate. I enjoyed Barbie. I didn't enjoy it as everyone else did, I don't think.
Yeah.
But I
It was
enjoyed it.
literally one of my favorite films last year.
Really?
If not my favorite.
Oh, wow. To be fair, I don't think I saw that many movies last year, so I think it's my favorite movie by default.
Yeah.
I know all the lyrics to I'm Just Ken. I have listened to it all the time. When
I
it
don't think
comes,
you had a choice. It was everywhere.
that is true. But and however, if I'm ever in the car with the missus and that comes on, she gets really excited because she knows I'm about to start belting out at the top of my voice. And it's good fun.
Apparently, he's going to be singing that live at the Oscars.
True, but it's a whole thing, isn't it? That he says if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. And he's kind of tempted not to, just out of respect for the ladies of the film.
Yeah. Which would be fair.
That is fair. So I'm getting...
What was the last thing that you were having negative opinions about?
My last thing, okay. This is how vague. This is my bullet point. This is how vague it is. Because sometimes I put like specifics. It literally just says Dune.
Oh.
Because
You were negative about Dune.
here's the thing.
Right.
There's so much hype around Dune, part 1 and part 2. And I can't remember when it was, but it was probably like a month or so ago. I was like, oh yeah, Dune. It's on Netflix or Amazon or whatever the hell it was on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, apparently this is really good. The cast is really good. Let's watch it. I don't know. I felt like I was watching it forever.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, and I was like, oh my god,
Oh no.
this is so boring. Spoilers for Doom Part 1, but after they kill all the cool people in like the first fucking half an hour, I'm like, well, you've given me so much time to get used to all these characters, and they've killed them all off. The only person who's still alive is Timothée Chalamet, who I don't like as much as the rest of the world. No offense to him. I just don't find him entertaining. I don't think I heard Zendaya speak. I think I just saw her staring at him in his dreams for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, and I had a vague idea what was going on. I'm like, what is this movie? And
Yeah. It's a real hit or miss with people, because I went to see it at the cinema twice.
all right.
And like the people I saw it with the first time were like, "What a great film!" People who went to see it the second time were like, "Ah, it was so boring." Whereas I've watched that film overall now about 5 times.
Really?
I watched it just after the Marvels a couple of days ago on Netflix.
Please sell me Dune. Like,
It's a hard film to sell. It's a hard book to read, but I love the book. So I mean, the first thing I ever saw of Dune was the old '80s movie, and the '80s movie I did enjoy, but it is not the book, which is why this movie is so much better, because this movie is the book, kind of. There are some changes, but this is part of the reason I love this movie so much is because it is more accurate to what the books try and do.
Okay.
But it's hard. The thing is, it's so hard to talk about because there's so much you can accidentally spoil for people. Just because like, I think the entire point of the first film to me is setting up the second film.
That's
which is kind of what Part 1 films do to Part 2 stuff.
True, but it isn't Dune. Was it called Dune Part 1 or was it just called Dune?
So it was just called Dune until the movie began.
Oh.
Because I remember being in the cinema waiting for Dune, and I remember them saying they didn't cover the full book. So I already knew I was going into something that wasn't the full book. And as soon as I sat down, it came up Dune Part 1. And that's when I was like, oh my god, it's happening. We're doing Dune Part 2. Which turns out hadn't been announced.
Okay.
That was never confirmed.
This was
like have a Part 2.
This is like M. Night Shyamalan's Last Airbender.
Oh,
no, because it was like book 1. It's like, and the rest never happened.
Well, yeah, they'd obviously put Part 1, but they hadn't confirmed Part 2 yet. Luckily, the film did very well that they got a Part 2 almost immediately. But yeah, that was the work because I was so worried they weren't going to get Part 2 because it's a long film. I mean, it's a long book, but you could do it in 2 movies, which is what I was hoping for. Which seems to be what they've done. I'm going to try and see the next one. I don't think I'm going to go tomorrow. I'll probably want to try and finish Final Fantasy before I even think about going to the cinema to see a 2 hours and 45-minute movie.
That's a big distraction to take yourself away.
There's a guy who I work with who I'll be seeing on the weekend. He went to see a double bill, and it was like, a crazy 6-hour-long double bill, and I'm like, that's insane.
That's a brave person.
But see, the thing is, I've watched that first film, as I say, like 4 or 5 times, and I never noticed how long it is. Like, I watched it again on Netflix and was already like, oh my god, we're here already? So that's like the interesting thing that happens when people are like, oh, that film is so long and boring, whereas I don't even notice time is passing, and I'm already like, we're near the end already. I thought we were just getting started. Here we go.
Maybe that's the thing, because you're a fan of the book and the story itself, so you have this knowledge in your mind and you can see it coming to life, and so it's probably that level of excitement, whereas me, who is totally blind, it's just kind of a case of, what is going on? But when you say that about about movies not feeling that long, I've definitely find that when you're enjoying a movie, you really don't feel like it's that long.
Yeah, because even with John Wick 4, I've had a bunch of friends who were saying to me like they felt like that film felt too long for them. But again, I went to see that at cinema 3 times and didn't realize how long it was until like the 3rd time, where I was like, oh, that film was like almost 3 hours long.
I haven't finished it because I hadn't watched it in ages, and I decided to watch it the other night when I was feeling really ill.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to die, so I was like, right, I'm just gonna lie down. I'm gonna put a movie on, just watch the movie. And then I saw John Wick 4 on Amazon. I was like, I've not watched the 4th one yet. I'll put that on because you don't need to use your brain, so you can just kind of enjoy watching it, listen to what they're saying, bang, 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 hit, 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 hit. Very cool. I started this at like 10 p.m. About 40 minutes in, I realized I was really tired, and I paused it. And then I looked and I went, oh shit, this is a 3-hour movie. I'm not watching this tonight. I'm going to pass out. So I need to get back to John Wick 4. But it
is harder as well, because like my thing with John Wick 4, I do love it, but I'd say the first 40 minutes are always like a bit of a trek for me. Not because it's bad, but it's just because like it is action that you feel like you've seen before. And it is constant for that first 40 minutes. You'll go from like one fight scene to a tiny bit of talking to another long fight scene to another little bit of talking, and it goes on and on like that.
Yeah, I thought
a long time.
Okay.
And like it's fine because obviously you go into a John Wick film for fighting, but when it goes on for that long and it doesn't like to me, and I'll say this now in case you forget back to it. The second that John Wick gets the nunchucks, that's when the movie changes.
Oh, that was
when all of
literally.
a sudden you're like, oh,
That is literally where I was, where I paused.
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
nunchucks, and I saw that bit, and I'm like, okay, now I need to go to bed. But good to know that if I continue it, it'll be like watching a whole different movie.
Yeah.
2 quick notes while we're taking this breath. 1, hello, Lamb. Nice to see you made live. This is me interacting with you. Hello. Second one, Stephen, I can't believe me or you both did not notice that I didn't actually update the title of the podcast until halfway through you talking about Dune. When I looked down and it still said pilot. So
I see.
and I was like, that's wrong. I was listening. It's just I noticed as you were talking, I was like, oh shit. So yeah, change that. John Wick. Oh, you were saying something, and you said something. I was going to say something. I thought it was. John.
I was just saying about John Wick having the nunchucks. It changes the film.
True. You said something just before that. That was it. Why is Donnie Yen always blind?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? He seems to be really good at playing blind characters.
It's like I started it and I was like, I'm beginning to think he might actually be blind. But I'm like, but no, I've seen him in what's those movies? Ip Man.
Yeah, Ip Man.
They're really good. I've not watched the last one, but I've watched the first 3 and they're really good.
Yeah, they're so good.
If anyone likes martial arts movies, they should watch Ip Man 1, 2, 3, and 4. I believe at least I think they're all still on Netflix. So
I think so. They were definitely on something before. I think there was like a TV show tie-in as well, but I don't know if Donnie Yen's actually in it.
No.
But yeah, no, I will say this: all the reviews I've seen about Dune Part 2 is they do say the way they said it though is like if you enjoyed Part 1, you will pretty much love Part 2. If you weren't a big fan of Part 1, Part 2 might win you over. If you despised Part 1, you're not going to like Part 2. That's the way that it's been kind of reviewed to me.
I'm just gonna miss it then, to be honest. I'm just gonna maybe one day I'll watch both of them and I'll understand it because I'll be older and more mature and more accepting of really slow and.
I mean, it is described in a way, and I know people are going to think this is sacrilegious, but it is described as like sci-fi Lord of the Rings. It is very like.
I love Lord of the Rings.
The battles are meant to be like epic in proportion, and this will tie into something that we'll be talking about later in just MCU stuff. Part of the reason I love doing Part 1 is if you look for the budget of that movie, it is like half of what Black Widow was.
Jesus.
And if you see that film is gorgeous, and like they get away with so much in terms of CGI. I don't know what's going on with Black Widow.
I will give you that Dune is quite visually beautiful, and I did admit that. Even though 80% of it is sand.
The director, he did Blade Runner 2049, which is one of my favorite films.
I still haven't seen that either. I need to
watch.
watch
Blade Runner 2049 is amazing to me.
I need to watch it, but I figured before I watch it, I should watch Blade Runner. But I got about half an hour into that. I'm like, this is so fucking boring. Why does everyone like this movie?
So I'll say this right now. I think Blade Runner, like again, people are going to come at me for this. I think Blade Runner is fine. Now, that could just be because I had to study it in uni. So I had to watch that film like 8 times in a row to write an assessment for it. And I had to like watch certain scenes. And I would just end up watching the whole film. So it got to the point where I started to hate Blade Runner 1. But Blade Runner 2 is amazing. And I feel like you can watch it without seeing the first one.
I might have to do that.
It takes place like 30 years after the first one anyway.
I don't know. I know the basic premise of the first one as well. So
I think if you got the basic premise, I think you could watch the second one.
I think
fine. If anything, it might make you want to watch the first one.
Maybe. I think the most of what I know of Blade Runner is from what is mentioned in the Ready Player One book, which if you haven't read, anyone listening, read it. I literally just finished the audiobook for like the 7th time. It's the only book that I have listened to more than once. I'm currently listening to Ready Player 2. Not as good. Still interesting though.
I didn't think so. I was scared to try Ready Player 2 because I really enjoyed the first one, and I wasn't necessarily disappointed by the film, but I knew the film wasn't going to do the book.
See, here's the thing. I didn't know it was a book. I went to see the film, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. And then I learned it was a book, and I listened to the book, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing and more. Because it's great, because some movies that came from books, they're like, oh my god, it didn't really do it justice, or it risked out so much. But I think the way they did the film, it's very much like I love both because they're the same story but different journeys. And so I can appreciate them both as their own independent thing. I mean, the book is better, that's without a shadow of a doubt, but I still really enjoy the movie because it's telling the story in a different way. And enough is different so it doesn't feel like it's just taking a shit on the book.
Exactly. I always give these kind of films a pass when the writer of the book is involved with writing the movie. Which is very rare, I feel.
True.
But that's usually when I give them a pass for things being different. It's because I'm like, well, the writer was there. The writer could have...
He signed off. It's like the live-action One Piece.
Yeah.
The creator backed it all. I really enjoyed it. I've not watched the anime. Sue me. But I love the live-action series. I can't wait for season 2.
I thought the live-action series was great. I'm not going to watch the anime.
Me neither. I tried...
I'm not going to watch 1,000 episodes to try and catch up. I'll just watch the live-action one. It's great.
I found which episode the live-action one finishes on the anime. And so I started watching the anime and I was like, it's so old and it's so daunting. I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll just have to wait to watch it all in live action. And it's fine because Taz Skylar is Sanji is really cool. He was at Comic-Con that I went to not too long ago. Yeah, I didn't see him. I saw him in the distance, because I don't pay for that stuff. I saw him in the corner. I'm like, oh my god, that's Taz Skylar. He's really cool. He played Sanji. I want to cosplay Sanji at some point, but that's, once again, a character with a lot of hair, and I have none, which is usually my repertoire for cosplay. It has to be long-haired or well-haired people with no facial hair.
I mean, that's it. I mean, we were talking about earlier on, if I'm doing a Cloud cosplay, the idea of getting a wig... You can do that with your hair, right? Maybe. I mean, I'm not good at styling my own hair, let alone styling a wig.
I know the feeling. I have a surprisingly extensive collection of wigs, to be honest. But I'm terrible at styling them. I had a wig. I still have the wig. But when I first got the wig, it could very much have been used for a Sephiroth. Because it was super long and it was silver. And I then trimmed it and it's now kind of like Geralt of Rivia length.
Oh, okay.
Which was what I got it for originally because I was going to do a Geralt cosplay at some point. And I still want to do a Geralt cosplay at some point. But the rest of the cosplay is just so fiddly and expensive. So it never came to be. So it's in a drawer, ready
What Geralt were you thinking of going?
Video game, because the series hadn't started when I got the wig. It was just a video game. Plus he just looks cool. No offense to Henry Cavill, I love you, but the game just is badass. Okay, I have one more thing I want to talk about in our What's New segment, and then we'll move on to the chunk of the podcast. And that is exactly this bit is a continuation from something we talked about at the end of episode 1.
Okay,
I have watched Masters of the Universe Revolution.
Superb. Absolutely superb.
I am gutted it was only 5 episodes, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I have to say, because I'm a giant nerd, there was one scene in particular that just tickled me. And that was when Skeletor was having an argument with his internal other half, whose name I can't remember.
Eldor?
Sure, Teldor. And I'm just listening to him argue, and I'm just sat there going, Luke Skywalker's arguing with Captain Kirk.
I know, it's so funny. The fact they get away with that.
I know. But no, it was very good. I think I enjoy it more because I know bits and pieces of the Master of the Universe lore.
Yeah.
Just like little bits, because I've never watched the show from the 80s, but my mum did.
I've seen bits, but I was never a big fan.
Exactly, I've seen like snippets, but I know my mum, when she was a kid, watched Master of the Universe, so I used to always talk to her about her and ask things. We'd always make references. We do like Skeletor laughs at each other and that lot.
Yeah.
And so when it was announced that Revelation was being made and Revolution, and I was like, awesome, modern day He-Man, great. And then I remember even when I watched Revelation, I was like, I want to cosplay Adam. I want to cosplay as Prince Adam because he's skinny and I can pull that off. I cannot pull off He-Man, but I could cosplay Prince Adam. So I remember I was at a convention with my parents and I was about this close to buying a Master Sword because it was on sale for like 70 quid. Yeah. And I was like, oh, tempting. But if I ever do get one, it'll be like a plastic one or a foam one so I can use it for cosplay.
Yeah, 100%.
And it'd be a version of the sword from Revelation/Revolution because I think that sword just looks beautiful compared to the original.
I have always... So I've always like debated with myself because I don't have any tattoos, but a tattoo I've always kind of like played with is like having the power sword from He-Man on one arm and the sword from Thundercats on the other.
Oh, that would be cool. Very 80s.
I've always just wanted to have like a sword on each hand.
That would be good. Would you have it like handle on the wrist going down your arm, or would you have the handle on your forearm coming up towards your hand?
Probably like the second one, probably going up towards my hand.
Yeah, so when you look at it, it's facing upwards. Not the other way
Yeah,
around. That makes sense. That would be cool. I'd support that.
yeah.
That's sick.
I'm debating about it, but I've been debating about it for a long time.
Dude, I am desperate for more tattoos. It's been too long since I had a tattoo. I have 6 tattoos. 5 of them are geeky. One of them is like a family thing.
Yeah.
And I just need more. I have so many geek tattoo ideas that I want to do. It's like I'm determined to have my left forearm just being a collection of symbols. I currently have all the crests from the first season of Digimon.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, around my forearm, and I want to add to it. So I want to get the One Ring text around my forearm. So I have the Elvish going around. I want the signs from Witcher going around.
Oh, the signs, yeah.
I want the different dice from Dungeons and Dragons going around my arm. So it's just a collection of symbols just going around my forearm. That's my plan. So my left arm one day is just going to be a collection of geeky symbols and just things that go round. So like text and that stuff.
We have different ideas for tattoos, and I love it because mine, apart from the swords, the only other thing I really wanted, and I've shown people a picture of this. I can't do it on this camera because it will absolutely break. But there's this little Paddington tattoo that I've wanted, where it's just this like half crudely drawn Paddington bear, and I just think it's really cute and funny.
See, that's cool because
yeah, there was another one I wanted because we talked about this at work for a while, where it was like if you could get a panel from a comic like tattooed on you, what one would it be? And I had one where it's like from the first issue, so from Amazing Fantasy 15 of Spider-Man. It's when he's walking away and it comes up with great power comes great responsibility, and it's very like I feel like it's very like not detailed that anyone could do it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It's a whole thing. I think I want color or anything in there. It's a whole thing.
Oh, that's a whole debate when you get tattoos if you want color. It's like I only have a tiny bit of color, and that's my crests are outlined with the corresponding color, but it's very very subtle. I'm a grayscale man.
I would say, would you have like if you were doing the Witcher one, would you have them in color? Like the signs.
I think I would do a similar thing that I've done with my crest, which is I'd have them in black, but then I'd have them like outlined or like highlighted with the color.
Okay.
So, yeah, so it'd be like when you draw text in like a 3D, so it's all facing one way, like a shadow seeing it. I'd do it that, so it'd be like you'd have the symbol, but then you'd have like one side of it would be colored in, so it's like the shadow of it is that color. I think something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was also debating getting like Justice League logos, so like little Superman, little Batman, little Wonder Woman, little Aquaman, Green Lantern, because that could be cool. I could think about that for ages. But then there's tons of other stuff. I want a TARDIS somewhere. I don't know where or what, but I want a TARDIS on my arm. I say my arm or my back. I don't care. Lots of tattoos. Lots and lots of tattoos. Yeah. Right. Anything else that's come up in the last 2 weeks?
The only other thing I wanted to bring up, but it shouldn't last long, is the cancelled Batman Beyond. Pitch that they did. Furious.
That is
furious that hasn't been picked up already.
It was kind of like a Across the Spider-Verse vibe, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was apparently by the directors or writers of Spider-Verse. And like it would be perfect for that kind of animation. Anything that, because I think the one thing to me that's wasted in Across the Spider-Verse is Spider-Man 2099's world that he's from.
Yeah,
he's
like
he's meant to be from the future, but there's nothing really futuristic about the world he's in.
True.
I see like the occasional flying train or flying car, but it's too bright for me. It's meant to be a lot more grungy.
Oh yeah, it's 24 Nights. It's meant to be quite like dark and depressing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's why Miguel's so depressing.
Yeah, it's kind of like what I wanted. It's like the same with Batman Beyond. Like it's meant to be very like Blade Runner inspired. It's very neon Japanese writing on a dark city kind of thing.
I don't
Flying
know.
cars everywhere.
Yeah, it's like
I'm a sucker for that.
It's very cool. The aspirations of the future and just future tech. It's very cool to watch. And I don't know what Warner Brothers are scared of, but since they did the cartoon, which, as far as I'm aware, was really, really good and went down really, really well because I enjoyed it. And I know everyone else who talks about it is a huge fan of Batman Beyond. They've just been like scared of touching it.
Yeah,
it's like there've been so many possibilities. It's like instead of having Michael Keaton come back to be Batman in a mediocre Flash movie, make a Batman Beyond movie and have Michael Keaton play Bruce Wayne in it. Because, my God, he doesn't have to be Batman.
I was sitting there being like, who are they going to get to voice certain characters? And like the obvious thing is just get Michael Keaton to voice Bruce Wayne in this and in the animated version.
I mean,
or do it live action. Either way, get Michael Keaton back, no doubt.
Yeah.
And you do it. And you'd be fine at it.
I think he'd be very good at it. That's another thing, because, touching on voice of Batman, because Kevin Conroy can no longer voice him.
Yeah.
May he rest in peace. Legend. Absolute legend. I really want to watch the new Crisis on Infinite Earths movies, the animated movies.
Yeah, the first one
I haven't
was
seen
all right.
it.
I know some people were going after it. I thought it was fine.
I need to watch it.
I know some people aren't big on the animation.
Understandable. It's a weird kind of like 2D style.
It's very like Archer-esque.
Yeah. And I really want to watch it. And I also, because I've only ever seen snippets, and from what I can tell, Jensen Ackles as Batman is very good. I like Jensen Ackles.
Halloween animated films.
I haven't seen those either.
I've got a big collection of them.
Nice. But no, I just need to catch up with DC animated movies, because I usually love them. I also need to watch Dark Justice League, or whatever it's called. War.
Oh,
not War.
Apocalypse.
Yeah, that one, because that's the one that was the last one before they reset all the animations down, because it all went exactly. I need to watch it. So yeah, I'm so far behind on DC animated movies. Anyway, shall we now move to the bread and butter of whatever the phrase is? Awesome stuff. By the way, Lamb, I am not tattooing my face. I'm sure you'll subscribe anyway. Thank you very much. Okay, cool. So if this works correctly, I should be able to. Yep. Cool. Yep. Okay. I should be able to click a button here. Which is, give me a second. I click this button. Ahaha! And if you look at the stream, you'll see a swanky little
there it is.
Box board has appeared on the Steven. And so
I've got my letterbox up as well, because I'd ranked them a while ago.
You've already ranked them. I'm going in blind, man.
I ranked mine. This isn't like new. This is old.
Oh, okay.
When I first got letterbox, I had ranked them. So I haven't added any new ones, but I'm just curious to see how my thoughts compare to me now than I did back then.
Yeah, see if you hold the same opinions. So what we have here, if people don't want to look, or if they're just listening, is we have a tier ranking system from S to F. S, of course, is amazing, the best. Oh my god, I love this movie. A is very good. B, I'd say B is good, right?
Yeah, B's good.
Yeah, B's good. Then C is your middle ground.
Yeah, C's like passable. You could watch it.
Exactly. And then we start going into D and F, which are all various levels of.
D's the kind of one where it's like you wouldn't turn it off if it was on.
Ah, okay.
You wouldn't go out of your way to watch it.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, E and F, self-explanatory. F is dog shit. I am in no desire to watch this again. It was terrible.
I'll never watch it again.
Yeah. I'd say E is, God, that was terrible. I'd watch it if I was introducing someone to the MCU and watching all of them, but
He's definitely. I'd watch it if I was at a party or showing someone.
Yeah. It's like I wouldn't press play myself, but if it was on because someone else was watching it, then I'd watch.
If I was like tied to a chair and I had to press a button, okay.
Okay, and then underneath that, I don't know how well you guys can see it on the stream, but there is pictures of all the different 33 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. 33. They are organized in alphabetical order, so we can either do them alphabetically, or we can just sift through them and do them in the chronological order of which we remember.
Totally up to you, man.
I'm thinking
it's fine with me. I can tell you right now. I can see that first one. I know exactly where it's going.
I think we should go in the release order, personally.
Okay.
Because then
sounds
it's
good.
like nostalgia. Okay, so starting off the bat, we're starting with Iron Man, 2008. Not even an official MCU yet.
Yeah, the backbone of what it was going to become.
The very beginning. For me, off the bat, I'd probably say this is an A.
Yeah.
Yep. You in agreement?
I think A is solid. It's a solid film. I remember I was not looking forward to it. It took me ages to get into the MCU.
Really? Oh, dude.
So I was not
straight away. Ooh, actually, Oh no, yeah, Iron Man was the first one. Oh, how old were you in 2008?
Oh God.
It was 2008 when Iron Man came out, right?
So I would have been in high school. I think I was in third year, so maybe 15.
I was 12.
92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 99.
I loved it. Everything about that movie.
I was about 15 or 16.
So you're in like, rebellious thing. You're like, oh, you really have to work to please.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I was watching any superhero thing, but then Iron Man was never one of the big ones for me.
To be fair,
I
he
watched
wasn't.
the cartoon as a kid, and I liked it enough.
That opening theme is sick.
Yeah, like
The second one
like,
with the hammer.
Gun to my head, I couldn't tell you who the bad guys were.
Mandarin, Whiplash, Twister, or whatever his name is. Oh my god, I love that cartoon. But no, great movie. I think a lot of it is nostalgia now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a really good movie. But I don't think it's like, oh my god, movie.
Yeah, I think it's solid. I definitely think it's one you could just put on and anyone would enjoy.
Oh yeah. So that was pretty easy. No debate. Okay, so next, The Incredible Hulk, which I forget is technically part of the MCU. The Edward Norton. I'm going to assume it's like, what, 2009?
It has been a
Oh,
while
no!
since...
Iron Man came out in 2002!
That can't be right.
I should know, because Avengers came out in 2012, and that was 10 years after Iron Man, right?
No, I think... No, actually, it should have been 8. It should have been the same time as Dark Knight.
Oh, give me a second.
Because that was the big debate at the time, was like, The Dark Knight was coming out the same year as Iron Man, and it was like, what a year for superhero films.
Why is my brain suddenly gone, like, dead?
Also, that would make it before Daredevil from Ben Affleck.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it was 2008. I had it right. It's Infinity War that was 10 years later, wasn't it? Infinity War came out in 2018. See?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, whatever. I'm going to stop acting like I know what I'm on about and saying all this information when I'm saying it. Anyway, back to The Incredible Hulk. Edward Norton's The Incredible Hulk. Your opinion first. Where would you put this?
So it has been a while since I watched it. And I remember the action scenes being watchable.
Oh,
everything else, I'm like, I might put it in E.
E? I was thinking D.
What did we decide D was? D was the one, like, we wouldn't turn it off if it was on.
Yeah, if it was on, I'd watch it.
I think I could go with D. I think I could be twisted to go D.
We'll go D. Okay, we'll be nice. It's early doors. We're being
I'll be generous
nice.
to it because, like, I do remember it being at least watchable.
Yeah, like the action bits are great. The bit when he first turns into the Hulk in that like college grounds and he's fighting the army, that's sick. The Abomination fight is awesome. Just all the bits in between, fucking suck.
I definitely think compared to most modern MCU, I think I would probably watch Incredible Hulk a lot more now.
Really?
We'll get into that later.
Wow. Okay, so moving on. I feel like I should have a tab up, but that tells me the correct order because I'm going to start getting things wrong. I believe...
I can remember most of them. I think after this, it should have
Iron
been
Man 2,
Iron
right?
Man 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this...
The first MCU film I ever saw.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair.
And that's only because it was a guy's birthday, and I got dragged to the cinema because of his birthday with a bunch of... It was like we were in a college class.
Yeah.
And we went to see Iron Man 2. So I had no idea what was going on. I knew the vague bits of, like, I knew Robert Downey Jr. was Iron Man, but apart from that, I was like, I don't know what else is this.
Oh, wow. I was excited to see Iron Man 2 because I love the first one. Oh, but thinking about it, there's quite a bit in Iron Man 2 that I really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's the suitcase suit, which is still to this day some people's favorite Iron Man suit. It's not mine, but it is cool. The introduction of War Machine, even though the actor changed, which really upset me back in the day, but now I don't care.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Well, I didn't even see the first actor when I saw this film, so I had no idea anyone had changed or anything.
So I've just seen that James Lamb put it sucked, but I've no idea if that's Hulk or Iron Man 2.
I'm a lot nicer to it because it was the first one I saw.
I think I'm nicer to it because it's still memorabilia and it was Iron Man and I really enjoyed it. And I liked the introduction of the triangle thing.
It's a bit weird that he just invents an element and we just let him get away with that, but at the same time, it's comics.
True. I'm sensing a down the middle from me myself. I'm sensing a C.
I would have said like maybe C.
Yeah, it's like I would voluntarily watch this, but it's not high on my list. So yeah, Iron Man 2 is going into C. I'm liking this general consensus we have going on here. This is good so far. We haven't got any like majorly conflicting opinions yet. So if I'm correct,
I mean, we might do later. We'll see.
I think this might be one of them. I believe the next movie to come out was Thor.
Yes. A film that I despised back in the day, but now I have grown to really like it.
Do you know what? I have a similar thing. When it first came out, I thought it sucked, but if I rewatch it, it's not too bad. It's like, his blonde eyebrows are weird and distracting.
Yes.
But overall, it's a good movie. It's not Iron Man good, though.
No.
So...
I'm I'm going between B and C for this one.
B and C. It's not the best Thor movie, let's be honest.
No.
I'm thinking. See, I'm kind of tempted to say B because it does have some really good bits, and the cast is great. You good? You feeling good for B?
B's great because I wouldn't. It's one of those ones that I would actually pick to put on. I would go down and be like, oh, you know what? I'll watch Thor.
There you go. All just still about fits in one screen. I tell you what, we're quite diverse here. We haven't had any in more than one, and they've been mostly positive, apart from Hulk. Sorry, Hulk. Next. This is another movie that I think got a lot of flack when it first came out, but now I think it's like one of my personal favorites. I love this movie. Is Captain America: The First Avenger?
Yeah, I again wasn't a big fan, but I remember like loving the aesthetic of the 1940s MCU. Like I loved how the city looked, and they captured that.
It did look great.
I remember like loving the suit as well, especially like the World War suit he has, like when it's like the helmet.
Class. Yeah, it's a great movie. Hugo Weaving as Red Skull's amazing. The cast is great. I feel like you appreciate Sebastian Stan's Bucky a lot more now because you've seen his journey. So when you go back and rewatch it, you're like, oh my god, this is like Bucky when he was just Bucky. It's great. Lam agrees. He likes Captain America.
Yeah.
Is it Iron Man good? I say, me personally, I'd put it in an A. Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I'd put it in A.
Unanimous decision, A. All right, now moving on to what I believe is the first big one, Avengers, which I can't. There it is, The Avengers. Big.
So this is officially the film that got me into it.
I think
so. I first saw this film in 2012. I had an exam the day after, and I decided at the last second, like I'm talking 4 hours or something before the movie began, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go to the local cinema and go see it at midnight.
Oh, wow.
So I binged through, like, Thor and Captain America to, like, prepare. Because I obviously knew that Loki was going to be in it.
Yeah.
And I knew that the Cube was involved. So I had to watch at least those two films to catch up. And I had already seen Iron Man and Iron Man 2 and Hulk.
There you go.
So it was just those two films I had to binge to try and get into it very quickly and then went to see it.
Respect.
And I loved it. I absolutely love that movie.
I love that movie.
I don't know how I feel about it now, but that's just, I think, a personal bias against Joss Whedon.
Yeah, you can tell that it's a weird case. I loved it when it came out. I remember if you scroll far enough down on my Facebook, you will see me posting a trailer going, oh my god, here we go, it's crazy. I was very excited. What year was that? That was 2012 when that came out.
Yeah,
if I remember
but
correctly.
The thing is, I think I could still absolutely watch it fine. As I say, I got a little bit of a personal thing with Joss Whedon, but other than that, I think it is a solid film.
I think it's a solid film. I could easily rewatch it. I think I know a lot of the dialogue. By I could talk that movie along with everyone else. I'm trying to figure out though if it's S. Is it our first S?
I would put it in S.
Oh, I'd see if you're that confident, I'm good there because it. And yes, a lot of it is nostalgia. To be honest, it was the first big movie that introduced multiple superheroes together.
I think it's a film that deserves the nostalgia. Like
exactly.
It does start everything, and it earns its place. I think.
I think so. Yeah, it still stands up. So we're going S. Lamb, don't worry, you're not the oldest. I actually think Stephen is older than you, so chill out.
I'll get to be 32 in a couple of weeks.
S for super. Oh yeah, you did say it was your birthday in a couple of weeks, so we may not have episode 3 in 2 weeks. That being said, what am I working next week? We might be able to do episode 3 next week, if you don't mind me quickly
we can do.
Very unprofessionally checking my phone.
Really making up a decision.
Never mind, work until half done. We're not doing it next week. So it may be a case of we might have to go a month between 2 and 3. But the man is allowed his birthday celebrations, so
yeah,
we're not complaining. Right, moving on. I don't know what the order was, but I know the next 3 movies were Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Iron Man 3, and Thor: The Dark World. Yeah. I don't know what the correct order was.
So Iron Man 3 was the next one.
Okay, so let's just do Iron Man 3. You first.
No, Iron Man 3.
It's worse than 2.
Really liked it. I remember I remember I had a lot of friends who weren't a big fan, but I had a great time with that film, and I like the director.
You love directors. I feel like directors have a big influence on you and your movie opinions.
Yeah, I'd say for a lot of them, it's because I always learn like little tidbits behind the scenes that gets me more into the film.
That is fair.
But yeah, Shane Black. It's because I love Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think that film's great, and it very much had buddy cop elements in that movie.
Right.
However, do I really think it's a good Iron Man film? It does have a great sequence. I like the airplane.
Yeah, the airplane rescue is good.
Yeah.
There are I feel like we're going to say this about a few of these movies, is that there are some bits that are really good.
Yeah.
And then there's a good chunk of it that's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Or not done like. I didn't like what they did with the Mandarin. I love Ben Kingsley, and when he was being the Mandarin, and when he was acting the part that was really cool, really menacing. I thought it was going to be really cool. Don't get me wrong, I find Trevor Slattery hilarious.
Yes.
But I think it's a waste because, unlike you, I was a big fan of the cartoon, and the Mandarin is Iron Man's big bad. He is this crazy powerful, and I know they kind of reintroduced him later on in Shang-Chi, but it's like, not really the same.
When you introduce late at that point.
Yeah, and they've done the 10 Rings a bit differently, but it's kind of cool. But it's just like there was so much hype around the Mandarin because it's like, oh my god, this is Iron Man's big bad. It's his third movie, and he's finally up against the Mandarin. This is gonna be crazy. It's Ben Kingsley. He's such a good actor, and then it had that old Aldrich Killian stuff. And I'm like, I don't care about
because it's trying to adapt the comic Extremis,
which is also really good. I have Extremis. I'm pretty sure I have a physical copy of that comic book, and oh my god, that was so good.
Very good. It's a comic that very rare that I would see a comic of Iron Man and be like, oh, that was really good. So I was looking forward to this.
Yeah, I remember.
It only adapts like little bits of it.
I know, right?
So
because
didn't commit.
In the comic book, it's so cool because Iron Man gives himself superpowers.
Yeah, he gives nanobots that puts the armor around.
It's like the under armor is stored in the hollow of his bones, and it just comes out. And I'm like, this is really cool, and he can communicate with technology, telepathically. And I'm like, this in the Marvel Cinematic Universe would be really, really cool. And then at the start of the movie, when he's getting when he's injecting chips into himself, I'm like, oh my god, this is actually going down the Extremis route, and it works with the suit coming to him, and then he just completely don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, which is annoying.
Is it a Christmas film? I don't remember a lot.
It is a Christmas. It does take place during Christmas. But I do want to say, because Lamb said, "Is it bad?" I struggle to remember what it was about. Not really, because it was all over the fucking joint. And a lot of people's complaints is that it's an Iron Man movie with very little Iron Man in it.
Yeah,
because he loses his suit and it doesn't work for.
I think it's a great Robert Downey Jr. performance. I think he really gets to do a lot in just as an Iron Man film.
It's just a bit shit.
Would I put it in C? I don't know.
Oh, it's in D.
Yeah.
Right on. What would you enjoy more, 2 or 3? Hey, Lamb just 3 subscribed for 3 months. I didn't hear the jingle. There should have been a jingle, but I saw it. So thank you very much, good sir. Oh yeah, we got more people. Woo! I'm pretty sure. Is that Joe?
If anyone's just joining us, we're trying to rank where we would put Iron Man 3 in our list.
Between S and F. I'm trying to think in relation to Iron Man 2, because we put Iron Man 2 in C.
Yes.
And Incredible Hulk is in D, so it's like, what level is it on?
I would put it maybe in C, because I think I could watch. I mean, I could watch it because I like as I say, I had a good time with it.
Oh yeah, we said C was, if it was on, we wouldn't turn it. We wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you C. C is okay. I can, but I think that's the case with most of these movies. That is I can if it's on, I'll watch it.
To be fair, I think there will be a lot in C for most of these.
Yeah, C is going to be a lot.
Yeah.
The suit scene house party is the best bit.
Oh my god, wait. Am I thinking of the right one?
Is that Act 3 when like all the suits come together?
Am I thinking of 2? I know he's having a party in 2.
He is having a party in 2, and that is a really cool scene. That's fun.
When he pees in the suit, and that's a big deal.
And the fight between him and Rhodey in the Mark II is a really good fight sequence. Plus, Queen was playing, so really good. But yeah, the house party, the suit scene house party is the best bit. I still don't know because this is the problem. when two people are talking with voices and everyone else is using text is that we can go through about 6 different things before we see the text, and it's like, what was the response to? Are we on about the bit from Iron Man 2 where they're fighting, or are we on about the end of Iron Man 3 when all the different suits come? Because I can't remember if he called it House Party, like the code.
Is House Party not what he calls it?
Is it the House Party protocol, something like that? When all the suits come.
Is that not when all the suits appear? Something like that. You're right. The suits all appear, and that is class.
It is. I just feel like it was a bit underwhelming because we barely got to see any. Half of them got destroyed right away. It was very cool to see the Silver Centurion as briefly as it was, but yeah. Anyway, moving on. I'm gonna go straight into my opinion on this one. Mm-hmm. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, S tier.
S tier.
It is so good. Straight up there.
I'll tell you right now. Where is that on my letterbox? So technically, Letterboxd gives you the TV shows as well.
Oh, okay.
So really, it's in my top 3. But because of my Letterboxd having the TV shows involved, it's my top 4.
Fair enough, but it's hands down. I remember when I suggested this idea, I was like, "There's going to be one movie in the S tier. It's going to be Captain America: The Winter Soldier," because, oh my god, I don't think there's any part of that movie where you get bored. Even when they're still around talking, it's so good. The action's so good. The fight scenes are so good. Just. Oh, yeah, S tier. Moving on.
Were you watching, very quickly, were you watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. when you saw that film?
No.
Oh, it was wild.
I think I've
wild to go from that.
I think I've watched it since, like the whole fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. But what a movie.
It was like I think it was like a 2 or 3 part finale, and the way it kind of worked was the finale came on, or part 1 of the finale came out, then the movie came out and you had like a week to see it before the next episode, because obviously it was all spoilers for Captain America after that.
Yeah.
Because all S.H.I.E.L.D. is obviously turned bad. And it was wild. One time. Anyway.
And now going from one end of the spectrum to the other, Thor: The Dark World.
I was talking about this today.
Right.
I hated this film when I first saw it.
Yeah.
Now, kind of love it.
See, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. There are some bits that I really enjoy. I think this is Thor's best suit.
Yes.
He looks the best in this movie.
I blame the writers of this, though, because they forced me to like this film.
Right.
Retroactively. Right. Because they wrote... I think they wrote Civil War, Endgame, and Infinity War.
Right.
And obviously, without going too far ahead... the way Endgame works as they go back, and it kind of makes me appreciate or the Dark World more. So it was kind of made me go back and watch it and go, you know what, this was class. Also, I don't want to just make this a whole trashing on Thor thing, but back then they were trying, and we thought they weren't, and I think that's.
The thing is, I generally think when I said going from one side to the spectrum to the other, I think that is just because of the amount of opinions that I've been subjected to about how god awful the Dark World is. Whereas, I don't think it's actually that bad. Quick bit of trivia for you. Me and Stephen have stood where the fight between Malekith and Thor took place. That is actually pretty much where we first met.
That's right.
We were both stood I
totally forgot about that.
Yeah, we were both stood in Greenwich. Literally, we turned around and we were like, oh my god, this is where the Dark Elf ship came crashing in, and this is where Thor had his fight with Malekith. And during this moment, it was a very cold... day in April. It was rainy and terrible, and everyone else wasn't wearing coats, and me and Stephen were at the back in our big woolly long coats saying, aren't we glad we decided these jackets are part of our arrival costumes so we can keep these on while everyone else is shivering. Anyway, but no, it's like Thor looks the best in this movie, Loki looks the best in this movie. I love Christopher Eccleston in anything.
Yeah, I think the problem with a lot of the ones that we have to put in the kind of C and D and lower tier, I think the biggest problem tends to be the villain.
True, they were just a bit underwhelming.
Marvel does have a bad problem with and it's not just their problem; it's a problem with most superhero media. Is you either focus on the hero or you focus on the villain. I feel like it's very hard to balance both.
That is true, yeah.
I feel like Spider-Man 2 is so good because you already had the origin. And they do a great job on balancing the problems that Peter's having with Doc Ock having his origin.
True. Oh, yeah, because they do it very well, because it focuses largely on the villain because you've had Spider-Man's origin. So it's just a case of he's the same.
So you get to focus on his life being a wreck, kind of,
Yeah.
because of his double life, but you also get to really delve into Doc Ock. And I feel like a lot of films don't get to do that in their first movie.
True, yeah, and plus...
Although I say that, I thought Green Goblin's great in the first one. But anyway, I'm not going to
Green Goblin's amazing. Yep. A different episode.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to put it in B with the first Thor, honestly.
I would agree.
There we go.
I would agree. Yeah.
We're in agreement. Fight us. I know people are not going to agree with that, but screw you. Now, if I am correct, the next movie would be Age of Ultron.
Was Guardians not out before that?
Oh shit! Yeah, that's Guardians.
I don't remember. I could be wrong though. I can't remember if it was Guardians or if you're right.
Do it now. We'll do Guardians now because why not? Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. It's an A for me. It's not an S. I can understand. Oh, I feel like you look generally disappointed when I said that.
It's not that. It's not that. I understand.
I mean, it's
that people
really
love
good.
These films. I am.
Oh, do you?
I am not a Guardians fan.
Really? Where would you put Guardians? The first Guardians.
I, out of respect, would have put it out of B.
Wow. Okay, this is a conversation. What don't you like about Guardians of the Galaxy?
I don't know what it is about that film. I don't know what it was that didn't grab me because I loved 3. I love Guardians of the Galaxy 3 for some reason.
Oh, that's a really good movie.
And it made me try and go back to watch the first one, and I couldn't even finish it again. And I've seen that film before, but I was like, oh, I'll rewatch it. I'm in a mood, and I couldn't even get halfway through.
I love the first.
And I don't know what it is. And it's even worse because everybody tells me that like it's such a me movie.
I thought you were generally going to be annoyed when I said it's not S.
No, I can't. I don't know what it is. I just can't. I can't grab it.
It's much better than the second one.
Yeah, I do not like this. I had to go to the cinema to see the second one.
You've upset Lamb. Can I at least persuade you to put it in A?
So you don't want to put it in S.
Yeah.
So we're talking between A and B.
A and B. It's for me personally, it's definitely an A. It's a good movie, and I'll gladly watch it.
I don't think anyone would fight you. I'm fine with putting it in A.
You're fine with A?
I think it does have its place. It literally, I don't think I've heard many people complain about one apart from me. I don't think I've ever met anyone who's had the same opinion as me.
I'm putting it. I was going to say I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that isn't amazing, unless they didn't give a shit about Marvel. So we're putting it in A. I'm accepting you agreeing, and I'm putting it in A. Yep. And we're moving on to Age of Ultron.
Cool.
Which I'll go first on this one. Age of Ultron. I really enjoyed Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
I love the movie. It looks beautiful. The costumes are phenomenal. The I mean, it was a bit disappointed with Quicksilver because I was really looking forward to Quicksilver.
Yeah.
I was a bit disappointed with the way they did Ultron, but I still really enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. I will gladly rewatch this movie again. I love how much Hawkeye got to shine in it.
I love Hawkeye in Age of Ultron.
He's amazing.
I
mean, it's not an amazing movie, but it's an enjoyable movie.
No,
and you gotta love...
it's that great. It has good sequences. And again, I have problems with Joss Whedon, but I'm trying to ignore that.
That's fair.
For
also, the first word in the movie is shit. So
that's true.
So the question is, where would we put it? Also, it introduces Vision by Paul Bettany, which is amazing.
That's true, and it's a good scene. I mean, even the Hulk and Hulkbuster fight, I think it's class.
I forget about that. It's such a good fight. Okay.
I would probably put it in A.
I'm in agreement. It's an A. It's an A. Again, fighters. We like movies. Don't worry. We're gonna get to a point and we're gonna be throwing some Fs around. I know for sure there's at least one movie in this list that I'm putting an F.
I got like 4 that I'm gonna be putting in F.
But no, Age of Ultron. It's an A. Do you know what? Go back and watch the trailer for Age of Ultron, like the first trailer.
The no strings on me one?
Yeah, it's so creepy. It's a great. What came after Age of Ultron?
Was it Guardians 2 wasn't right after
it? I think it was. It's either Guardians 2, Doctor Strange, or Ant-Man.
Yeah, you're right. Oh god, I used to know this all off by heart.
Same. How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is what happens when Marvel isn't doing quality. You kind of lose track.
You do.
Drive by on Marvel.
Should we start with Doctor Strange?
Okay.
Cool. Oof, that was an exhale. I'm trying to read into your
The
exhale.
reason it's exhales because I literally had someone tell me a story about how they were out on a night out, and someone was trying to claim that Doctor Strange was the best Marvel movie, like above all the rest.
Okay, it's not the best.
And I've never been more like, how dare you?
So what's your opinion of Doctor Strange?
So I didn't like it the first time at all.
Right.
I despised the character. Not that I despised the character. I just didn't like the way Benedict Cumberbatch was playing him.
Fair. I didn't like his accent. It took me a really long time to get used to his
I
voice.
always in my head when I was reading pictured him with a British accent. So when they got Benedict Cumberbatch, I was like, oh, sick. And then he didn't do the accent, and I was like, all right, cool. I guess he is meant to be American or whatever, but I always read him as British.
See, I didn't. It only bothered me because I'm so used to hearing Benedict Cumberbatch as an Englishman.
Yeah.
But now I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me his voice. Doctor Strange, good backstory, but could be better. Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
I mean that's it. Again, it suffers from a very weak villain.
True.
And it's even worse when it's a character, it's an actor you know is good.
I know.
And they feel wasted.
Which happens that happens a lot in the MCU.
Yeah, like what's the bad guy's name in Doctor Strange?
He's played by Mads Mikkelsen, and he is called.
Yeah, does anyone
No, shut
know
up! Let me think. I know it. I know it. Okay, look, my hands are in my pockets. I'm not gonna. Give me a second. I know it is. Oh, can you see it in my mind's eye? I know it.
Nobody knows it.
No, I do. I can hear Tilda Swinton saying it.
Mads Mikkelsen doesn't know it.
It's Kai Lysius or something like that.
You know what's funny, man? You could say anything.
I was about to say you don't know, do you?
It's Kai. Because nobody knows.
It's
Kai.
This
was the argument.
It's Caecilius. It's Caecilius. That's his name.
There you go.
And then the big bad is Dormammu.
Yeah, Dormammu, I know, but like it was Mads Mikkelsen character, and like when my friend was telling me the story of the guy on the night out saying that, and I was like asking her, ask him what the villain's name is, and when she did, he didn't know, and I'm like, of course you don't, because the most forgettable villain to me, and it's played by Mads Mikkelsen, because we could all go, it's Mads Mikkelsen, but what's his name?
It's a very fair
Dormammu's
point.
class.
He was
Dormammu's scene, I think, is class in that film.
True. I feel like there's some good humor as well. It balances. Why did I put Dr. Jones? It's a good song. I was looking for Doctor Strange. This is me just double checking that I was correct.
To me, it's between B and C.
Caecilius, yeah, I was right. Between B and C. I'm content to put it in a B.
Yeah?
I'll give it a B. Where is it? Doctor Strange in B. Also visually beautiful.
Yes.
So you got to give it that as well. This is where I think we're going to starting having some proper disagreements.
Okay.
Ant-Man.
That is an E for me.
Oh, I love. Oops, sorry, hit my mic. I love Ant-Man. E.
Man, we're lucky the entire Ant-Man trilogy isn't down there because oh boy.
E. I'll give you lower rankings for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania, but the first Ant-Man is so good.
I was not digging it.
Can I? Oh, I can't see. Very minimum, I'd put it in C, but that's me being like.
I could bend for a C.
Would you watch it if it was on TV?
If I had nothing else to watch, probably.
Why you hate this? See, this was my only dilemma when I was coming up with this idea. A part of me was like, "Ooh, should we do it where we both have our own tier list on either side of the screen?" And then when we disagree, we can see how our different ones.
We can see how it lined up.
Yeah. And then I was like, you know what? We'll just come up with one together. We'll come up with a shared Two Geeks tier list. But that's such a range of opinions for Ant-Man. Yeah. You want it in like the bottom.
And like, think of picture this. That's me being good to the first one.
I think the first one's really good though. It's visually really appealing. The cast is great.
I think
it's
the best
funny.
Out of the three.
So you want to give it an E? I'd put it in like at least a B. But did you say you'd be willing to accept C?
I'm willing to accept a C.
So I can't put it in the negatives. I can't put it in a D. I can't. It's too. We're going with C because you said you're okay with C. We're going with C.
I'm willing to buckle for a C.
Okay. Guardians 2.
Oh, God, that's an E.
Really? I want to put it in E.
I struggle with that one as well.
I would accept D.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not that great.
You know what? In my head, I forgot the alphabet. D is probably what I'd be able for.
I don't want to think you are just keeling over because I'm always like, oh, can we do this? And you're like, yeah, sure.
No, like D's worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I have problems with that film in particular. I think the Gamora storyline is wasted in that film.
She has a storyline?
Like the one with her and Nebula.
Oh, yeah, that whole sister thing. There's a lot of that movie is just fucking boring and stupid. And
it has meme potential. I think the memes that come from that movie are great, but...
I'll give you that. That is fair. Someone thinks it belongs in F. One thinks it panders too much, which is true, yeah. The music's good. And you said,
I can't complain about the music from any Guardians.
Exactly, the music's phenomenal. But like you said, the memes are great. Like the whole laughing meme when Mantis is reading everyone's face, and Drax is great in every movie.
Even the dark moments are good for memes. You know, like when he talks about when Jeff Bridges is doing the "I had to kill her," and they do that slow zoom.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who?
Who what?
Who said? What actor was that?
Jeff Bridges? Is that not him?
No. Jeff Bridges played Obadiah Stane in Iron Man.
Oh.
You're on about Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, that's who I'm thinking. See, that's how much I remember that film.
Wow. That's fair, yeah. Plus, Ego. Kurt Russell's a great actor, but Ego was just annoying and boring to have on screen. So, do you know what? I'm kind of tempted to put an E when we talk about it. Do you want to put it in E? Let's put it in E. Let's be honest, it's a bit shit.
Yeah.
The only good thing about it is it's visually appealing and it's the Guardians cast, which if you like the Guardians cast, you'll enjoy. But if you like Steven and you don't, then fuck them.
Everyone's just that little bit too annoying to me.
True.
In the second one.
I don't even know who's the focal point. It's Pete and Gamora are like the main characters now, aren't they?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Boring. Anyway, is Civil War next? I think it is.
I think so.
This is an S for me, but this is because
I completely agree. I went to the cinema. I bought my friends 8 tickets.
Oh, Jesus.
I love that movie. Again, for me, the Captain America trilogy is practically the most solid. Although the first one is a little lower than the other two, those other 2 films for me, top tier.
Oh, yeah. Civil War is so great. It's just like the amount of characters in it, the introduction of Black Panther, Spider-Man, the Winter Soldier. It's just, okay, I don't even need to talk about it. It's grabbing it, it's going up in the S. It's one of my favorites. I will gladly rewatch Zemo.
That movie
has
one of my favorite moments. He has a moment that I call such a cool Batman moment. Don't
tell me. I'm going to try and guess. A cool Batman moment. Oh, okay.
Such an odd moment though, so I'll be curious if you get it.
Odd moment. It's not the bit when he's stalking Iron Man, is it? When Iron Man shoots out of his helicopter and he's there like...
When he's in the plane?
Yeah, and he's following behind him.
And he's like, it's because it like pans down or pans up or whatever, and it's just like above the clouds, it's the plane, and I'm like, that's sick. That's the most Batman moment in a Marvel film.
If you didn't say Batman moment, I would have guessed it completely wrong. But when you said Batman, I'm like, okay, so it's when he's having a sneaky moment.
To be fair, all of Black Panther's stuff in that movie
True.
is classic.
I like it when he kicks someone in the face with both his feet. I can't remember who he was fighting. Was it Clint? And it's like his hand's stuck. So he suddenly just like jumps and spins in midair and just goes, whoop.
Also, I just think Falcon is hilarious in that film as well.
Oh, with Red Wing.
So you like cats?
What's the legitimate question? They're such a good movie. Like another English actor with an American accent that caught me off guard with Martin Freeman. It's just
That's true.
The cast of Sherlock, just when they're American.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I go over that. And the introducing of Sharon Carter.
That's right.
Which is great. And the death of Peggy.
And
very sad. Kiss. And the kiss, Captain America getting some, and just the visual of a jacked Chris Evans getting out of a tiny beetle. Who doesn't enjoy that? And This is for me, because I know you probably don't care, but having Ant-Man be introduced to the rest of the Avengers.
Well, see,
very
because this
cool.
is the thing. This is the film that made me like Ant-Man.
Oh,
Like, this is my problem. Is like, in their solo films, I'm not a big fan of them. But it tends to be when they're with the other heroes and they actually get to do something
that's
with a
fair.
bunch of them. I get to, like, Doctor Strange, wasn't a big fan of him in the first one. Loved him in Avengers Infinity War.
Same.
He was literally my favorite character.
He's one of my favorites now. Yeah.
Thor, in his first movie before Avengers 1, didn't like him. Loved him in Avengers 1.
Oh yeah, same. But speaking of Civil War and Ant-Man, this is my favorite version of the Ant-Man suit.
Yeah.
Is Civil War. It's not too over the top. It's streamlined, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's probably also my favorite Captain America suit because I love the stealth suit. Everyone loves the stealth suit.
Yeah.
But if you look, if you're thinking red, white, and blue, his Civil War suit is my personal favorite.
I would agree.
It's beautiful. Oh, I think it's also my favorite Iron Man suit.
See, the Iron Man suits always get me because I always think they all look the same, but then when I look at them, they're like, no, they're very clearly different. I don't know why I keep thinking that. Like, in my head, I'm picturing them all looking the same, but I know they're different.
They are slightly different, but that one's, I think it's my favorite. I think it's just like the most streamlined, but still chunky and technical. I think it's like his last one before he goes to nanotechnology, because I hate his nano suits. I do not like them. They're ugly. But that one is cool. I remember when I was trying to 3D print my own armor. I started with a helmet and I was printing that helmet.
Okay.
Yeah, but then my printer ran out of plastic and it was a whole thing. But yeah, I think Civil War has some of the best suits. It's the best Black Panther suit as well. His suit in Civil War is way better than the one he got in his own movie. So yeah, just great. And plus more Vision and more Wanda. Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
What was after Civil War? Spider-Man. Homecoming.
So to me, that is an A, if not an S for me. I love Homecoming.
Really? I thought it was a bit shit.
Yeah.
I think I can give you A. It's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Michael Keaton is great. Having Iron Man in there is great. Here's the thing. It's a really good Marvel MCU movie. I don't think it's a great Spider-Man movie.
So I'm mixed because I don't like this whole Tony Stark prodigy stuff.
Yeah, same.
But at the end of that movie, when he's in the homemade suit fighting Vulture, loved it.
That's pretty fair.
I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I wanted.
I did enjoy that whole bit. When he's like reflecting on if he's nothing without the suit, he shouldn't have it. And he's reflecting on who he is, and that whole bit when he finds his strength. I'll give you that. Okay, we'll put that in A. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
That
the biggest problem I have with that film is actually the trailer, because the trailer spoiled all of that movie.
Yeah.
By the time you got to trailer 3 of Homecoming, you'd seen the entire film. You knew the plot.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I think it's when I stopped watching trailers as often. I think next was Black Panther.
Yeah. Black Panther 1, I think, is a very solid film.
I think I'd agree. Very good. I think I put it in A. It's not S.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say S. Yeah, I would definitely put it in either A or B.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking A, I would be happy to agree with that.
Black
I
Panther's
think the villain really makes that movie, because this is the problem. I
so
love
good.
the suit in Civil War more than I do in Black Panther 1.
True.
I think giving him the weird power that they give him is a bizarre choice.
Well, that kinetic absorption thing.
Yeah, where it's just like you can hit back when they hit you too many times, and it's like, in the Black Panther comics, I feel like he shouldn't be getting hit at all.
True, yeah. Well, he isn't really getting hit. It's absorbing the impact, isn't it?
It's something like that. Yeah, but I wasn't digging it.
Fair.
I prefer the suit in Civil War.
I prefer the suit in
that
Civil
MCU
War.
has.
Is that they
Where
do?
they give you the best version of a suit, but then the next film they'll change it.
Yeah, they have to make a new one because they want to sell action figures. And it's like, stop making it so good the first time then, because
Exactly.
it looked like, form-fitting armor, whereas now it looks like he's wearing pajamas.
Yeah,
It's just-
like
it's
we talked
the
about
same.
this. We talked about this, I'm sure, before. Where, like, obviously we're not talking about the TV shows, but in Falcon and Winter Soldier, they give Sam his proper comic outfit.
Yeah.
And we've already been told that the outfit has changed for the next film, and I was like, then why did you bother?
Yeah,
you
I know,
him his
right?
outfit. That is his outfit.
Yeah, that's
The
his
iconic
Captain
one that
America,
everyone
yeah.
knows, and they've changed it.
To be fair, I'm looking to see what they change it to because I think they're going more blue than white.
Yeah.
Which could be interesting, but I see exactly what you mean. It's literally they took it straight out of the comic books. Boom, here you go. 20 minutes. Okay, you're never going to see it again now.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Can you please stop referring to Bucky as the Winter Soldier, please? He is no longer the Winter Soldier. He's the White Wolf. That is my... I know we're not talking about the show, like you just said, but that's my biggest gripe with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I love the show, but at the end, when it was like, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I'm like, no. He's had his whole arc. It's Captain America and the White Wolf. He's not the Winter Soldier anymore. That was the whole point of his story arc. Why? Fuck you, Marvel.
Literally.
Sam Wilson isn't the only important character in that show. Anyway.
After that, what was next?
We either...
Oh, no, did we even put Black Panther somewhere?
Yeah, we put it in A.
Cool, okay.
Do you know, that's my grandma's favourite Marvel movie.
Oh, okay.
She loves Black Panther.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember correctly. I think the next one would be Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, I believe it was.
Which is an S for me. Oh, your face doesn't
I would probably
agree.
agree.
Oh,
I
really?
think of all the Thor films,
it's
the one I could watch the most with no problems.
I've watched this so many times. It's going in an S.
Yeah.
I'm not letting us have a chance to discover
it. It's the best action.
True.
That like Thor gets. I think Hulk is great in it to an extent.
To an extent, yeah. He was great in like the first half.
Yeah.
Then he turned back into Bruce and he becomes annoying.
Yeah.
But no, it's just a really good movie. The cast is great. Loki in it is great.
Yeah.
Carl Urban is just stupid and fun.
I think I remember in Ragnarok, I really thought I was going to get bored of Loki again. But then the minute they had him in it, I was like, oh, you know what? Never mind, I'm back.
I'm enjoying this. Also, his reveal in the beginning is just so good.
Even the villain, I forgot her name.
Hela.
But Hela, that's one. I think she's class.
She is amazing as well. I'll give that to the name of the person we were talking about earlier, who I forgot. Kate Blanchett. Yep, she was phenomenal as Hela. Yep. I loved the introduction of Taika as Korg.
Yep.
I'm not gonna. We'll go on about the
next they're the highest size. You think they couldn't mess it up?
Oh yeah.
Again, if they made a sequel.
Oh yeah. You think no. Anyway, but yeah, I love Korg in that movie. In Ragnarok, Jeff Goldblum's just there, being Jeff Goldblum, which is always allowed in any movie. It's just good. It's just I would really have to think if I wanted to find something negative about Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And therefore, it belongs in S.
Yeah. So I believe after that is Infinity War.
Oh yeah, because Ant-Man and the Wasp came out after that, didn't it? Because they get snapped to the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, don't they? So it would be Infinity War.
Yes. So I believe it's Infinity War, and then in between is Wasp and Captain Marvel.
True. So, Infinity War. I keep saying mine first.
For me, that's an S.
Okay, cool. Yep. I was in agreement. S. Infinity War is the best Avengers movie.
Infinity War is literally my number one on my letterbox.
There you go. It's phenomenal. Everything about it. I don't think there's a single scene in that where I'm like, oh my god, please go back to this.
They like just what we were talking about earlier when we're talking about juggling villains and heroes. That film manages to juggle so many cast members.
And it does it
and
well.
Doesn't feel wasted.
Exactly. No one feels like they're underappreciated or not seen. It's just so good. Apart from Hulk. Hulk is underused in that movie.
Yes.
And that trailer is a lie, and I still haven't forgiven you, Russo brothers. But you made a really good movie, so I'll forgive it.
Yeah.
I'll move past it. Lamb says double S for Infinity War. Maybe, I don't know, but it's so good. It's so good. It's also like a long movie, but you don't realize it's that long because there's just so much happening. It's just
absolutely go through.
And Thor with the Guardians, it just works. It's really good.
Again, this is the film that made me like the Guardians.
Hey,
when I didn't like the first two.
It's just so many good bits. It's like Drax being invisible because he's standing so completely still.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Also, I think this movie has the best version of the Guardians ship. Because the Milano was cool, but it was really small. Yeah. Whereas this one's like a Milano on roids, and it looks amazing. And that's my personal favorite ship of the Guardians. I don't know what it's actually called, but it is my preferred vessel of theirs.
Okay, I didn't even know they changed. That's how much I know about the Guardians films.
Yeah, it's a very similar design, but it's bigger.
Right.
And I like it more. Right, moving on.
Here we go.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
That's between an E and an F for me.
Wow, Lamb says F as well. Do people hate this movie that bad? There's some good bits in this movie.
I don't know. I think right now, if you looked it up, because we saw that. I work at a comic book shop, and we looked this up before. I'm pretty sure Ant-Man has like something like a 96 or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes. And I already hate Rotten Tomatoes as it is, but I despise the fact that it's as high as it is on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
And the Wasp.
I think it's like, I don't remember if it's the actual critic score or the audience score, but it's something in the 90s and it annoys me.
Rotten Tomatoes, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Wow, this website just makes no fucking sense. 87 by the critics and 79 by the audience.
Oh, good. Okay, it's definitely gone down since the last time I looked, which is fine. I still don't think it's 80. Lucky if it's like 14 for me.
The first Ant-Man is 83.
Between an E and an F.
E and an F.
I will never willingly watch it.
That's fair. I'd give it an E. I mean, there are some redeeming. I'm not going to argue on this. It's like you've swayed me. I've managed to sway you a lot, but I have a feeling there's no way I'm going to be able to sway you on this one.
Yeah.
There are some funny bits. It's like the True Serum sequence is hilarious. Louis is very funny.
That scene was in there. Yep.
There you go. That's really good. But yeah, it doesn't have any as good action scenes as the first Ant-Man did.
Yeah.
Which I think is like the whole heist and learning how to use the powers is really interesting, whereas this one's just kind of like, yep, we've done this, we know what we're doing. So yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you E. It's okay. I maybe would put it in a D myself, but...
Yeah, the comments... F, no doubt.
Don't even dare. I think that Don't Even Dare came up when I went, really? Not even a bit high? He's like, don't even think about it. It's shit. Captain Marvel.
I don't mind it as much as others. Again, I won't go out of my way to watch it. I would at most give this a C.
I think C is a safe bet.
C or lower for me.
Yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson was great in it. I like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I have no qualms with it. Jude Law as the bad guy is not, explored as much as he should, but it was enjoyable.
The biggest problem I have with it is it's very like meh.
It is very meh.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great.
It is the literal definition of down the middle.
Yeah.
And therefore is a C. But the thing is, I know as well when it was announced, with the reveal at the end of Infinity War, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, Captain Marvel!" I didn't know that much about Captain Marvel, so it's like, cool, yeah, she's a blonde chick and she's really powerful, cool.
Yeah.
And then she was blonde and really powerful in the movie, and it had a very well digitally de-aged Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
And I liked the
Some
buddy.
of the best they've had.
Oh yeah, and I really enjoyed the buddy cop comedy aspects of it, like when it started working together. So that was really enjoyable. Okay, moving on to the big thing. Okay, so here's the thing. There are so many different factors about this movie.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about Endgame.
Yeah.
One of the big things is the fact that it is the Endgame. It's the culmination of so many movies. It's the finale of so many stories. It's just that end credit bit where it's doing the whole cast credits and you have the final six. I think I cried.
Like the signatures and stuff?
Yeah, I think it was about 2:30 in the morning, and I think I was crying watching this. But if you ask me, Infinity War is better.
Yes, I would agree. I have Infinity War higher than Endgame.
Yeah.
But it's hard for, I was talking to a friend about this today, actually, because I was telling her that we were going to be doing this. And she was struggling because, they do feel like one big story. So it's hard to kind of separate them. So it's like, if I had to, Endgame would be slightly lower.
Yeah.
If I consider them one story, then they're both under S, obviously. But I do think Infinity War carries that S more than Endgame does.
That is true. There were bits in Endgame that's like, I hate Bro Thor. I feel like that was stupid and they shouldn't have done that. Or if they did, they should have had... I feel like they at least should have had him train before the final bit, so he's like the Thor we remember. at the end.
Maybe, I mean, thing is, I quite like the message of like, because I remember when everyone thought he was gonna get the hammer back, they thought he was just gonna be skin and muscly again. But I actually quite liked that he stayed the same.
Oh no, I didn't
Like,
want.
yeah, you don't just get a magic hammer and get skinny again.
Oh yeah, I didn't want like a magical transformation. I was
Yeah.
hoping like there'd be like a bit of a
like a montage.
yeah,
like a rocky
a rocking training where it's like, right, this is the big fight. Let's get ready. Let's get into shape. I have no idea. I don't know what I was expecting, but I just wasn't keen on it. The Captain America lifting the hammer is oh my god, amazing.
Yeah,
I can watch that. I can
moment.
watch that on YouTube and still get goosebumps.
Yeah, for me, it's actually the Captain Marvel stuff that really annoys me in that film,
Wow.
where they made a big deal of her coming in, and she's there. But then it's like, well, I gotta go help out the solar system because things have been wiped, and she's just away.
Yeah, true.
And you're like, oh,
it's one of the situations though, isn't it, where they can't have her around too much because you just solve every problem really quickly.
That's part of the problem is like when you make a character that strong, don't do that.
You need to find a reason
Like,
to have a
to
not
be fair,
around.
they'd already done that with Thor to me, and that's quite. Look, again, it's another reason why I don't mind Bro Thor, is because technically speaking, the man in the last in Infinity War took a dying star to the chest. Like, man should be dead.
That is,
but he is just the most strongest person in that room. So I quite like the Bro Thor thing to kind of take it down.
That is fair. I'll give you that. Yeah. I'm trying to think of any reasons I'd put. I'm just trying to justify not putting it in S.
I mean, it's either an S or A for
it's,
me.
It's
I mean,
an
I think
A.
either way.
I'm going to put it in A.
I don't think
Okay,
anyone's going to complain.
That's fair, yeah. I'm going to put it in A. Endgame is an A. If we were going about, our personal feelings and, how it makes you feel, it'd be an S. But as a movie, it's an A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's like the conclusion and, oh my God, S. But as a movie by itself, it's an A. Sorry, hit the camera. I feel like I've been really loud this podcast. Probably because I know the house is empty. Can we go out and remind us?
I'm going to be too quiet.
Nah, I spent the first 20 minutes turning you down. Loud motherfucker. Anyway, after Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home.
Oh my god.
See, you say things like that, and I do not know what that means.
God, that's a D or an E for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
like, Mysterio is the only thing that pulls that movie back.
Mysterio is good. Mysterio is great.
But my problem, but at the same time, I have problems with Mysterio. I despise that it's got anything to do with Tony Stark again.
Oh yeah,
they
go
keep
straight back
doing
to
that thing of like every villain that Spider-Man fights in those first two films are all Tony Stark's villains.
True,
They just happen to be fighting him. Vulture is stealing from Tony Stark.
True.
So and I love the Vulture storyline, but even I'm like, all right, Tony Stark related. Then when they gave me this film,
and it's
like, oh, he used to work for Tony Stark. I'm like, oh my god, guys.
Yeah, it's not even like a good excuse to turn into a villain as well. He's like, oh, he stole my technology and he called it Barth.
Yeah, they made a joke out of it.
Yeah.
And he's such a good villain.
Oh, it's one of the best performances as a villain.
The idea behind it being a villain, like, when the whole thing with him trying to pretend to be a superhero using special effects because obviously heroes are big right now. I'm like, that's genius.
It's very good.
However,
it's visually
had you
beautiful.
not been related to Tony Stark, it would have been perfect.
That's fair. I'm thinking D.
Yeah.
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 If it was on, or if someone was watching it, I'd watch it, but I'm not going to volunteer like, yeah, let's watch Far From Home.
Yeah, this is how bad I consider it. I would watch Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 over that film a million times.
I love Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I think it's great.
Cool. We'll have a we'll have a separate
Spider-Man ranking one day.
We'll get that. We'll rate all the Spider-Man. We'll include the cartoons and everything. Right. For some reason, I feel like the rest of them are in release order already, which I don't know why it's suddenly gone from alphabetical to release order. So I'm just going to do it as they appear. Black Widow.
God, that film is forgettable to me. It's either a D or an E for me.
I think it's an E.
Went to see it at the cinema, regretted it.
I think I did the same, yeah.
I would rather have. I think I probably would have enjoyed it more if I'd waited for Disney Plus.
Maybe. I think I was watching this movie, and the entire time I was watching this movie, I'm like, that should have killed her.
Yep.
That should have killed her. I should have killed her. And I'm like,
wish the villain was better.
Oh my
wish.
God.
You know what problem I have with that film? I think I would have enjoyed it more had it come out before.
Yeah,
Avengers
that's also the
War
thought.
Endgame.
It felt like a second thought, you know, like, oh yeah, Black Widow didn't get her own movie. Let's make her own movie. It's like,
Yeah, I
it's
think
like nobody
I think
really
that
cares
film
anymore.
would have benefited coming out earlier.
It would have if it came out more within the storyline of the MCU in general. It would have done better.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like that. The only really good thing about this movie is that he introduced Yelena.
I think it would have been, again, I know obviously actors would have been different ages and stuff, but I think this would have been the perfect after Civil War movie to put on. If we had just had Civil War and they gave me Black Widow right after it, I probably would have been loving this film.
Yeah. Now you mention it, that is a very good thing. I think definitely the release time has a huge impact on how well that did. I couldn't stand the mother. The mother's character drive me nuts. But David Harbour was great as Red Guardian. He was funny.
Yeah. I thought the mother was hot, and that's why she's above David Harbour on mine.
Fair. And I can't believe I forgot her name. But the person who plays Yelena, amazing. I love the character. I love the actress.
I knew it, and then you said that, and now I don't know her name.
Yeah, I know, right? Shame on us. But I'm sorry, it's an E-tier. It's not good. Yeah. It's not a good movie. The CGI sucks. At one point, Black Widow fell from a building, hit about 3 different things, hit the floor, and then got up like she just tripped over a stick. And I was like, the fuck? She is dead, if not incredibly crippled. But whatever. Anyway, going from one end of the spectrum to another. This is going to be an argument.
That's going to be interesting.
Shang-Chi. This, for me, is an A.
To me, that is a C. That is, for me, right down the middle. I mean, I think there's bits again that I like in that film. I would go for a B.
Yeah.
But mostly because of all the sister storyline.
You do love the
sister storyline. Class.
Would you give it a B because of the fighting scenes?
See, the fighting scenes are good.
They are very good.
It's the thing that saves that film.
I mean, a lot of it, but it's so good.
Like, if it was fighting scenes alone, it would be 8. The main character that I'm supposed to be supporting, though,
you just
puts
don't
it
like.
Right down.
I think he's really good. I really enjoyed him.
The villain is good. I quite like the dad.
He was great.
I hate the last act. The last act is garbage.
Oh, the big CGI fest. It's like, it's a dragon.
A
like,
dragon appearing.
Yeah, it's like, can we please go back to him fighting his dad? Because that was a really cool scene. So have I managed to persuade you for a B?
It's when it starts going less martial arts and
mythical.
We're in a we're in a room filled with green screens and we're just
magic.
Flying with wires.
Yeah. So I've convinced you for a B. I managed to persuade you up to a B.
Yeah.
Thank you for making that sacrifice. I would have put it in A personally. I really enjoyed that movie. I'll watch it again. Lam agrees with me. It's an A. But this is a democracy.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, so we'll change. Plus, we're going to get to shit over some movies really soon.
Yeah.
Starting with Eternals.
So I remember liking this in the cinema.
Yeah.
And then seeing it on Disney Plus. It's fine to me, but...
See, the idea of it is good.
Yeah.
The cast is good.
Yeah.
There's just... It's boring.
Yeah, I struggle. I liked it. Again, I liked it at the cinema, but you're in the cinema, you're forced to pay attention.
True.
But when you have it on like Disney Plus or something in the background, the amount of times I would like wander away looking at my phone and then look up and where am I now? What's happening?
I didn't see it in cinema. I watched it on Disney Plus, and the first time I watched it, I was like, it was the first time watching it, and it was like different. I didn't know anything about the Eternals, so I was quite invested. Yeah. And I'm like, I like the characters. It's quite interesting. I just watched them like, it's okay. Then it ended. I'm like, that's all right, interesting, I suppose. Well, I wonder what they're gonna do with it. And then a couple of days later, I was slowly working for all the MCU movies with my parents, and we got up to date. So I was like, right, we're gonna watch Eternals. All 3 of us fell asleep.
To me, it is epitome of like forgettable. Everything that happens in that film has never really come up again.
True that. There's no consequences.
And everything that sounds important that happened in that film. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like it's meant to be like universe related stuff, like huge scale things, and it's just nothing happened. I'm thinking D.
I would agree.
Yeah, just D. The cast is great. Some of the characters are great. Sprite is annoying. I didn't like her.
Yeah.
But I also the main woman. What was her name? Cersei.
Cersei. Yeah.
Yeah. She could go away. Don't like her. Loved Icarus. Fasto. I loved.
You remember more of their names than I do.
I know, right?
I had to sell their fucking toys.
I'm quite impressed that I know some, but no, I loved Icarus. I loved Fastos. I loved Makari, the deaf speedster.
Yeah.
Her special effects were phenomenal. That's how everyone should do
it's like some of the
CGI
best
speedsters.
stuff in the
Yeah.
film.
I don't know how I felt about Druig. You know, the guy who could convince people to do things.
Yes, what's his name?
The guy.
Harry Cohen?
Sure,
His
I have
name?
no idea. Yes, James, it is the one with Harry Styles in at the end. But
Yes, Harry Styles is in the end as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I could give or take his Druig's character. What was his name? The guy who had the finger guns, who became a Bollywood star.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I don't know.
He was enjoyable. He was funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, altogether it's just a bit of a shit movie.
Yeah.
It's forgettable. Sorry. Also, Kit Harington was in it, and I enjoyed seeing him, and I enjoyed the tease that has still not turned into anything.
Yep. As I say, that's what I mean. Like, it's the epitome of like everything they build up. Never heard of it again.
No.
They were like they teased Blade at the end of that film.
They did. Yeah, it was the Kit Harington
and we've
bit.
still not got a Blade film.
Nope.
Blade should be the easiest movie to make. We've had 3 of them.
They know what they're doing, but evidently don't. Anyway, moving on from one scale to the other. I don't think this is a bait. I think this is an S tier.
I think S tier, yeah.
Yeah.
No Way Home?
Spider-Man No Way Home is an S tier. But I know that I was saying Endgame would be an S tier if we we're going into our personal reasons of, oh my god, it's a combination of so many things. But Spider-Man No Way Home is in fact a combination of so many years of Spider-Man, and fuck you, I don't care what you think. It's an S tier. It's so good. It does it so well. Oops, shit, I accidentally put an E. Get out. Where'd it go? Oh, Jesus, I pressed the button. Getting it out of D up here. S. So yeah, anything you want to say about Spider-Man No Way Home?
It was the best theater experience I've had.
I think
so. Like when I went to see Endgame, people would tell me like everyone would like cheer or gasp or something when something happened. I didn't get any of that at that cinema. When Andrew Garfield came out of the portal, the entire cinema cheered, including me. I was like, I wasn't at front, but I was like near the front, and I remember like seeing him from a distance, and I remember grabbing my friend beside me because we'd been having the debate of like, do you think they'll be in it? There were leaks. They kept on saying the leaks weren't real, and I was like, do you think though? And there's a guy. I'm not gonna throw his name under the bus, but there's a guy who works for Hasbro, who comes to our shop.
Oh, okay.
And obviously he had seen toys for the film, and we kept on asking him, being like, hey man, like I know you're not allowed to say anything, but are they in it? Like just give me a vague nod if they're in it. And he kept saying, don't get your hopes up. And we were just getting so upset, being like, I don't think they're going to be in it. What a shame. And then he came out of the portal, and it was just the whole theater cheering. Then Toby came out, and the crowd went wild. It was amazing.
It's a phenomenal. I personally hate cheering in cinemas.
Yeah.
Because I'm a miserable fucker. But I don't know if they did cheer when I went to see it, but I know... No, actually, it was not a lot of people there, because this was back when I lived by myself, and I could go to the cinema at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a weekday.
Yeah.
And so I could just sit there and enjoy my movie. And so it was quite quiet, but I definitely know for a fact that there was a massive smile on my face, and I was like, this is amazing, and it's just...
Yeah.
And then...
I remember being scared near the end, because I really thought they were about to kill Toby's Spider-Man.
I thought they were going to kill him. I was like, oh shit, that's one way to bring him back, just to kill him. Oh my god.
I wasn't ready. I would have went nuts.
I think I would have cried. I've just noticed that we are at 1 hour and 53 minutes, so we might hurry this up a little bit.
Okay.
Though we could talk about No Way Home for fucking ever.
Indeed.
Anyway, moving on. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
I liked it the first time I watched it. Recently rewatched it. Wasn't as good as I remember. It was still fine. I think I had it on like top 5.
Oh wow.
Now it's in the top 20.
See, I think the problem with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is that they overpromised. There was so much hype around this multiverse thing, and they made it out like it was going to be full of cameos and all this different stuff. We're going to see all these different universes, and then we didn't. And so I feel like it got a lot of flack for that. But I ultimately think it's still a good movie.
I think the Sam Raimi stuff saves it for me, because I love Sam Raimi's directing, and I think there's a lot of it that I can see. I can look at it and go, that's a Sam Raimi shot.
Yeah, even I can do that, and I don't even know him that well. Plus, I like the horror aspect. Also, I think that's my favorite Doctor Strange outfit. I know he's only had two, but
Yeah.
I loved how he looked in that movie.
So I'm between a B and
I was going to say
an A.
B.
Yeah.
I was going to say B.
B's solid.
Good with a B. Whacking in a
Yeah.
B. Okay, this next one is, without a shadow of a doubt, an F. It's fucking dreadful. Thor:
Which
Love
one's
and
this?
Thunder.
Yeah. Oh yeah, get that an F. Don't even question it. That is an F.
That is.
There's like, oh,
It's fucking dreadful.
fucking hate that movie.
Lamb F plus. No, it's yeah. Let's not even talk about it. It's an F. It's shit. There is very, very, very little redeeming qualities about that movie.
Yeah.
Moving on. Wakanda Forever.
So I had friends that loved this film.
Mm.
I was not sold.
Me neither. It's just kind of.
For me, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
I would hold the same opinion as you on this.
I think for me it was right in the middle.
Right in the middle. See, I'd watch if it was on, but I'm not gonna make an effort. I think there was some part I was like, ooh, Namor's cool, but
Yeah.
eh.
I'm still a little bit in the fence that I think they should have just recasted, and I don't think it would have been insulting. I think he would have preferred the character lived on.
I think
But
you're
hey.
right then. Yeah, like there's definitely like reasons behind it, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a fan. It's like, don't get me wrong, his sister, the actress, I love the character, but I just don't think she's Black Panther material.
I remember there was controversy around her at the time, so it really sullied my opinion as well.
I did not know that drama.
It was all COVID related. It was all vaccine and stuff. All weird things.
fair. I wonder where you're gonna put this next one.
What's the next one?
Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh, for me that's an F.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna argue that. I was just thinking about it, then I was reflecting. I was like, you know what? It's garbage.
Only reason that film remotely gets a little bit of a pass for me is because I didn't pay to see it.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I got taken by my boss to go see it,
I think
and I was like, thank God I didn't pay money for this.
I think me and my friend Squirrel went to see that on day one when it came out, and it was just kind of like, yeah, there was some good bits about it, but most of it's kind of forgettable, and a lot of it I
think
didn't
for me,
like.
the two films we've now put in F, I think I would have enjoyed more seeing them on Disney Plus for the first time instead of the cinema.
Yeah, it feels a bit hurtful, doesn't it, when you're at the cinema
Yeah.
and you're seeing it, and you're like, this is garbage.
Yeah.
I've paid actual money. You know, like, granted, I pay for Disney Plus, but it's not like I'm paying exclusively for this one shit film. Whereas at the
Because
cinema,
you can just turn it off. You
And
can just be
that.
like, I'm done.
yeah, I'm finished. But yeah, they were poor entries into the MCU. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
I'm between an A and an S for this one. I really loved Guardians 3. Of all of them, bizarrely. The third one really won me over.
It's really good. However, my one argument for not putting in S is the entire movie makes out like they're going to kill people. And then it ends, and not a single one of them died.
That's true.
Everyone
Also, Kang-
survived that movie.
Yeah.
Kang's not in it.
You're right, but it was more just the build up to like the other. It's no, you're right. I'm thinking of Quantumania. No, the High Evolutionary is class.
He was very good. I'd
thought
very
he was
happily put this in an A, but
I think A is solid.
I mean, because I've only seen the.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Do I enjoy it as much as Infinity War? No.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I have watched those 6 movies at least very minimum 3-4 times.
Yeah.
I have not watched Guardians 3 again since the first time.
Yeah.
I'm in no crazy rush to watch it again. It was
That's it. I mean, I've watched it twice since.
And now onto a topic of conversation because we've now both seen it. The Marvels.
I had a good time.
I enjoyed it. You're the same as me then, where it's like it wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be.
Now, this is one of those things we were just talking about with the F movies. Did I enjoy it more because I waited for it to be on Disney Plus than go see it at the cinema? I don't know.
Maybe.
Because I didn't see it at the cinema.
Me neither.
Would I have enjoyed it at the cinema? I don't know. If I'd paid money to go see it, would I have liked it? I don't know. Because I think it was a good time.
It was, but
I like to think I would still enjoy it.
it definitely suffered from bad villain.
Yes.
Yeah, that was very underwhelming villain. Didn't give a shit.
Villain was the biggest. It got one of the funniest jokes out of me that I literally rewinded it 3 times. And it's such a stupid little joke, but it got me every time.
Which joke?
When Carol like flies up in the air
Yeah.
and she turns into Miss Marvel and she starts falling.
Yeah.
And they have to get Rambo to go save her.
Did you laugh at Black Girl Magic?
No, I laughed when they landed.
Oh,
Carol,
and you went,
just
oh.
hear Nick Fury going, "Oh, it's cool, it's Carol."
that did
Got
make me
every
chuckle.
time. I had to keep rewinding because his delivery was so funny.
It's just the quickness of it as well. It's just a case of oh, it's Carol, it's cool, and then move on. It's like, love it.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. That was very funny, and
So
I enjoyed
I'm
Kamala.
between A and B.
A and B. I think I'd give it a
Probably
B.
B.
B, yeah.
I'd probably go
It's enjoyable, but it's not on the same level as Black Panther
Yeah.
and Guardians 3 and whatnot. But there you go. I don't know if I can get it all on one screen. I can't fit it all in on my little box, but you can just
But we
about
don't
see
need
them.
that bottom one anyway.
There you go.
We know what the bottom ones
You know
are.
the bottom. But this is our first official Two Geeks tier list. The 33 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And it's, as you can see, it's overwhelmingly positive.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
Yeah.
Considering my feelings for Marvel recently, I'm actually quite happy to see a lot of them being up high in
True.
my head.
And like the 2 most recent ones are in A and B. So
Yeah.
it's not too bad. You got Guardians and Ms. Marvel, and Shang-Chi's up there, and Multiverse of Madness is up there. So it's pretty good. I think we've been generally quite nice. Now do the TV shows. We're not going to do it today because we're already over 2 hours.
TV shows.
And there's so many TV shows. There's so many opinions. It would be a question of, are we doing the Netflix show? Oh, they're canon now, aren't they? So yeah, we would.
Yeah, they'd have to be canon.
Yeah. You want some Fs? We have Fs. We have 2 Fs. The 2 most
2
deserving Fs. Love and Thunder, Quantumania, because they are garbage.
Yeah.
But I think this is a very fair assumption, really. There's like nothing that I'm looking at.
Between 2 people, it's fair. I mean, again, you're all lucky it wasn't just me. You're lucky that James could convince me otherwise.
Yeah, this would be reversed shape if it was just Steven. I mean, like so many E's. I think D only exists because I managed to persuade you to go. But no, I'd say this is quite fair. I'm not going to save it because why are we ever going to get it up again?
Yeah.
But it's here. You can see it now. It's very fair. I feel like it's very true. 6. I'm quite surprised there are 6 S's. I don't think we'd get 6 movies in S tier. But looking at them,
I mean, when you look at them, you would think, why wouldn't you? Because they're all perfect films.
Exactly. But if someone says, "Oh, I like the best movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe," you wouldn't think that you'd have 6 answers. But there they are.
Yeah.
There you go, people. If you disagree with us, comment or send us a message on our socials, which are red underneath us, and you can share your opinions from the general consensus of what I've been reading through the chat. The 2 people who have been with us today are in usual agreement. Revisit on the 100 episodes to see if they're all the same. That would be an idea. I love that you think we're going to have 100 episodes of this. I would hope we do, but
yeah,
that is great.
It would be funny because, again, my opinions changed already from some other films, so it would be kind of funny if we revisited this and I'm like, why did I have that up there?
Fine, I'm saving it.
Get that down to F.
Download image. There you go.
Okay.
I have downloaded it. It's on my PC. I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll find it somewhere. We'll
Yeah.
remember at least the good ones.
Yeah. But that being said, if we did it on 100 episodes, how many more movies are there going to be since...
That's true. I mean, well, they're trying to slow it down. I think we've only got, 2 films next year?
What are there?
Have we got any this year?
I don't know.
I actually don't know. Is there a film? I don't think there is. No, Deadpool. Deadpool's this year.
Oh my god, I can't wait for Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool's this year. Fantastic Four is next year.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll just play
I
by
think
ear.
that's the... Oh, I think there's other TV shows coming out later this year.
Oh, we should definitely do, like, episodes reviewing movies that came out.
Yeah.
Like, live. We can be, like, actual nerd news coverage.
Okay.
It'd be cool.
I'm with you.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Everyone should come check out their new favorite geek podcast, the Two Geeks podcast. Where
We'll need to do, before Deadpool comes out, we'll need to do like a X-Men universe ranking.
Whew, that's be extensive. But there are enough movies that'd be pretty good. But yes, we are aware
I don't
of
think it's got as
time.
many as 33 films, so
Oh no,
it
yeah,
probably wouldn't take as long.
Exactly, we'd still fit in. I was even going to say we're going to try and do it in an hour and a half today. But once again, we are over the 2 hour mark. But hey,
Classic us.
thank you, you two guys who have been here the whole time and you've been talking and engaging with us. Thank you for anyone who may be lurking. I can't see you, but if you are here, thank you very much for listening, if not watching. Stephen, thank you for being here with me once again.
Not a problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Again. And hopefully we'll do it again. Maybe not in 2 weeks because you have your birthday celebration, but as soon as
we are both free.
We are able, we will do episode 3. We'll post about it on our socials. Hopefully, maybe not on the day of, earlier to give people a bit of heads up, but it'll be really good. I've loved this conversation. This has been a lovely evening for me to get my mind off the rest of my life right now and just focus on some fun, geek conversations. So thank you for accommodating.
Not a problem, man.
Awesome stuff. And to everyone else, I wish you adieu. Till next time, be good. Love you all. Follow us on socials and see you next time. Toodles.